think this is the best decision we ever made, or potentially the worst we ever made.
What about Dylan?
Let's talk about it in 6 months.
Okay, no answer. We'll see. I'm putting you on the spot here. But, I mean, Perks is replacing that coaching position.
Look, first of all, Perks. I believe, I come from traditional sports. I'm a converted gamer. I believe that successful sports organization have this intrinsic model of legacy transmission from ancient players to the new one, because you transmit something else than just skill and craft. You transmit the legacy and the mental edge that they had when they won. And so we had our player becoming world champion in Rainbow Six 2 years ago called Fabian, and then become the coach. And as a coach, we won the championship again.
Everyone is playing, you're not yet. EWC Play is your all-in-one platform to compete in fantasy, pick'em, and quests for a grand total of $300,000 in prize pool. Build your dream fantasy team in 5 different games and track your score with live results tables. Predict the winner of every game, every group stage, and every tournament. Complete daily and weekly challenges to earn boosters that help you climb the global leaderboard. Got what it takes? Join EWC Play now.
I need to learn from these guys over here because they are absolutely nuts.
Secret.
Actually, the secret is to let the fans do what they want to do.
Yes.
To be very transparent, we don't control them. They have their own association where they organize themselves. We just try to create the connections between the organizer and the fans. We are very happy to be at the EWC because everything is made for the fans here.
Yeah.
And they are very, very happy. And then when we play, they are just themselves, you know?
Welcome back to another Aramco tier ranking. This time, we're with players, Flap and Kid Bomba, and they're gonna be ranking players. So good luck with this, gentlemen, because I don't know how you guys are gonna explain why some would be going to F tier or S tier. Or remember, you can only put 1 player per tier. Let's start off with you, Flap. Who did you get first?
Chenzi.
All right, where would you put TNZ?
I'll put Chenzi on the S. All the teams are looking up to Aurora Turkey, and his game style is so aggressive.
All right, so he went with a little bit more towards the playing route. Kid Bomba, who do you got on you?
TNZ, because he's my friend, and he's gonna be bragging. If I put him high, I'm gonna put him in B.
Okay. Does he usually brag to you about anything or what?
No, but we joke around, and I don't want to hear his jokes. I want to be the one joking.
Next up, we got, I think, Cram.
Cram.
All right.
I think I'll have to put him on E this time. He's strong, but we don't get the chance to face them.
E, for the same reasons. I gotta follow him. We just didn't see enough from him in this tournament. I'm guessing E.
All right. So for now, this one, Cram is our idolo for this. Who do you got next?
Kyrie. I'm gonna put him on A because he's handsome.
All right.
I'm gonna put him in C because it's yellow. Sonic is yellow.
All right. Okay.
Who's you wanna go next?
Okay.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah. Okay.
So.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know what you want.
That's fine. That's fine. All right.
I already forgot. I'm gonna put him in F tier for him to be motivated for the playoffs, for him to have energy, for him to prove everybody wrong.
Does that usually work with Zara? Is he that kind? Like if you egg him on, he'll really get better? He's just taking a shot at the win.
Now.
Yeah, I'm gonna put him on F2. Need to be motivated.
All right, who do we got next?
Nile. I already know where I'm putting Nile.
Putting Nile in B. Yeah, because their fans is calling them Bs.
That's good. That's it. That's a good reason. Yeah.
It's their logo, B.
I'm gonna put Nile in S because he's my super best friend.
Aww.
I hope I can face him in this tournament. No, never mind.
Oh, yeah, don't say that around Flap. All right, let's go to the last one.
Sanford.
4D.
I'm gonna put Sanford in D.
Yeah, I think that's
sad for my fellow Filipino to go home early, so we'll do our best.
Where should I put him?
This is the last one.
You have A and D available.
A because he's still the GOAT of XP. Yeah.
Okay, YA.
A for amazing.
All right, and I had an amazing time with you guys here. So, Kid Bomba, Flap, thank you so much. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed this. See you around. Bye, everyone.
Welcome to the talent show. I don't know who the talent is. Is it me? Is it you guys? I don't.
I don't know.
No.
No, there's no talent here.
Do you ever find it weird that we get called talent? Does it ick you out a little bit? It makes me feel a bit weird.
Yeah.
No, I love it. We're all talented. We're all very talented. We're special.
So you say. All right, speaking of talent, let's talk some questions. So we want you to answer these questions, write them down on your, I was about to say piece of paper, on your cue card, and then reveal to the camera your answer. Some ever so slightly embarrassing questions. Rachel, this is not another...
Okay.
Don't worry, we're not sabotaging.
Nervous.
All right, verse 1. Out of the talent, who is most likely to get arrested by the police? You started writing before I even finished.
When you said arrested, bro.
All right.
I'm done.
3, 2, 1.
LaFell?
Oh, damn.
You're cool.
What? Wait, no, it's LaFell for sure. You remember the airport?
No, but if it didn't have him,
Okay.
it would be you. It would be.
I kind of feel like LaFell's an acceptable
LaFell,
answer.
right?
I've known him for 2 weeks, and I can see it.
Chat agrees, LaFell.
It's Mirko's mouth. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Throw them away. Throw them away. Go on, yeet them. Yeah, do what you want. There you go. We'll go on to the next one. Okay, who is most likely to get deported from Paris?
Oh.
Brother.
Oh, God.
Well, I mean, I feel like this is low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done.
I feel like I have the same answer for most.
Yeah, let's get it. Let's see it.
Same answer for mine.
Oh, wow. Same.
What? What does it mean?
Again, your mouth.
Okay, LaFell. It's LaFell, 100%.
Okay, yeah, no. I mean, Nelly happened to LaFell full stop anyway, I suppose.
Okay.
There's a couple of people who this could be. Who is most likely to fall in love with a player?
Oh, God.
Well,
Oh, she's not even here to defend herself. Hold on, hold on. Does that say me?
Okay.
No, that didn't.
Okay.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Let's see. So we went Brigida
Oh.
and yourself. Yes, okay.
oh, wait, I mean, like,
Yeah, well,
I mean-
that's,
Well, you got eyes on anyone, Turner?
No,
well,
no,
multiple, not just one.
that's true. I'm kidding.
Okay. Who's most likely to fall in love with a fellow caster? You might as well have just kept that same one, Turner. Where is it?
No.
I mean, based on the track record, brother.
No.
Based on the track record.
No.
Yeah, let's see it. Let's see it. Let's see it.
No.
Let's-
I choose Renmar.
I mean, someone is, I mean, yeah.
Who does
track
Renmar?
record.
Who does Renmar love? Oh, is this?
He loves me. Renmar loves me.
Renmar loves Mirko.
Renmar loves me.
Okay, we'll keep it at that. Who's most likely to get ready? Take the longest to get ready for a broadcast.
Oh. The talent pool here, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, the fact that both of you didn't take very long,
Oh.
there we go.
Chemistry.
I can kind of see that.
Right?
I can kind of see that. And she's not being late yet, though.
We're not late.
No.
We just wake up earlier.
No, she's not being late. We did have somebody be very late yesterday, but
We did.
kind of remotely the same. Who's most likely to fall asleep during a game? Who's a sleepy boy?
He's not here, but I gotta write his name, bro.
Do it.
It's my boy.
I'll choose from this talent pool. Oh, that's actually pretty good.
All right, Gideon and Arash.
He's not here, but hey, shout out to Rashi.
Is he a snoozy boy?
He's a snoozy boy.
Okay.
Gideon as well.
Who is most likely to get blacklisted from a broadcast? Well, be careful how you answer,
Dude.
because you never know. Yeah,
I misspelled his name.
I'm seeing Mirko. Yeah, I mean, that's just without question.
100%.
You know what?
Without
He'll
question.
never be blacklisted, though.
No, I honestly
What's our
think that
favorite?
he's that crazy that it's kind of just like
It's his branding.
he's untouchable.
That's
It's-
true.
It's his brand.
He's
yeah, he's
untouchable.
fine.
Identity.
All right, who's most likely to survive in a zombie apocalypse?
Hey.
Ooh.
Pause.
Okay.
Okay, let's say it.
Again.
Naisu, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to take a punch off Naisu. I'm just going to put
Exactly,
it
I
out
think
there. I
that's
feel
right.
like he'd kill me.
He's a runner. He's athletic.
He runs?
Fit.
Like that?
Yeah.
I feel as if like a slightly bigger guy running is quite difficult. So if he runs like that,
It's
yeah,
the endurance, bro.
fair. Okay, fair. Who's most likely to spend the most during an international event?
Oh,
Spend the most. This is the easiest one. I know the answer to this. Oh, really?
Okay.
For real? Okay, let's see it.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, actually,
This event.
this event is it
Okay.
being bad?
Okay, that's true.
I know you guys want the
But
outlets.
traditionally, I would say this one.
Yeah, probably.
Room
Wait, what
service.
have we been spending it on, bro? I don't.
Hey, it's for the girlfriend.
Oh, okay, fair.
For the lady.
For the lady.
Who is most likely to crack under pressure? Who is not very icy?
Dang, this one's
Ooh.
crack under pressure.
Ah.
Three, two, one. Oh, damn. No,
Oh.
no, Eterna,
Oh.
you're fine. You're fine.
I think I cried more than Brigida.
You cry?
Oh, cry,
No, the
crack.
under
Yeah,
pressure.
but like to crack under pressure, I cry.
Dude,
when
you should have
I
seen
crack,
her
I cry.
reaction when like
Oh,
the
but-
I love you things and adults.
Okay, okay. That's also a valid answer.
Okay.
That's a very valid answer.
And final one. Who is most likely to win MVP in a game? So who's the best player in the talent group?
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Damn.
So
We've been
disgusting.
very nice to each other on this last one.
So disgusting. I'm disgusted.
Is he nasty?
The boy's nasty at it.
Nasty.
Pretty good at video games.
All right, man. Well, thank you very much, guys. There were some expected and some unexpected answers. We might drag some other people onto the talent show. Thank you. Throw them away. Be dramatic. Go on. Yeet. This is Confessions with T-Rex.
Hello. How are you?
I was told that would get a bite. I was actually a little bit more.
Rex.
Yes, I know. Do you think that was me being ignorant?
A little bit.
You know what?
I get it a lot.
That would have been absolutely fair. Okay, so this is your confessions, but we are actually starting off nice. How's your daughter Harper? I've been told to ask.
She's good. She's
Yeah?
very good. Yes, she's good.
Cool.
I FaceTimed her at the Eiffel Tower the other
Oh,
day.
nice. That's cute. That's cute. I know. My wife's been over, and she was like, "Baby," or something. Anyway, that's probably inappropriate. Never mind. We'll move on.
We'll talk about that another day.
We'll maybe talk about that later in this interview. So people are saying that you're the grandfather of the NA scene, and the NA teams are kind of like your grandchildren. Have they disappointed you so far?
Why grit? I couldn't just be dad. I couldn't be just
Grandchildren, apparently. I'm sorry. I
grandchildren.
get the young thing a lot. It's tough, yeah.
Yes.
What do you think about
You
the
could say I'm the
performances?
daddy of the NA scene,
Yeah, well, that sounds a little bit better.
but I'll take granddaddy. I am a little disappointed in my grandchildren for sure.
Yeah, not so great, really. I mean, the expectation wasn't there. You were already disappointed in them before this moment, I would like to say.
It's been a couple years. Yep, it's been a couple years.
That's not a surprise.
It's been a rough time.
How's your good friend Mr. Fear doing?
He is. He's locked away right now in a basement somewhere.
Wait, right, you're going to have to explain it to me. All right, come on.
You know, there's been some clips. I have some moments where maybe I say things that I shouldn't. It's the multiple personalities of Trex. You have Trex. You have T-Rex.
T-Rex, yes.
You have Herbert.
Okay.
You have HB. You have Mr. Fear.
Wow, you get more disorders than Fel.
Then Split. Then
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Fear. And we said some things. We love the Philippines. Filipinos love me. That's just the way it is.
Speaking of, what was your plan in Paris aside from work? Any particular districts that you wanted to visit? I was told.
Le Marie? Something? Le Marais?
No, somebody said you want to go to the Latin district.
The Latin District. We
Yes.
want to go to Latin District. I went. It was cool.
And any luck?
We found some good places. Some
great
places. yeah. A couple of nooks and crannies.
Yeah, okay. I'm sure there was a few of those in Paris. What was in the duffel bag that you lost?
A lot.
A lot.
A lot. Every pair of pants I own.
Oh, man.
Every pair of pants I own. A camera.
And it's like lost.
All my hygiene. That's why my beard is so big right now.
It looks
do you have clippers? Could I borrow some clippers?
You can, yeah.
I can?
Yeah, you actually can. We got a barber here on site as well.
I haven't had time.
Okay. Well, you know what? You can lend mine if you want.
Everything. No, it's gone. I don't know.
If you had to choose one genre for the rest of your life, would you choose rap and punk rock? Or rap or punk rock, I would say.
You got good questions. Good questions, sir. If I had to pick one.
Yeah.
It's been a sad boy summer, so we're going for punk rock.
Okay.
I think.
What's your favorite punk rock band? Ooh. And how long have you listened to punk rock? Because I'm kind of on this level as well with you. Sorry, I know the game's on right now.
The past summer, it was the 20th anniversary for Panic's first album.
Oh.
So I've been on a big Panic at the Disco. Fever You Can't Sweat Out.
Yeah.
Been hitting that.
Big Day to Remember guy? Or?
A little bit. A little bit of everything. Was on a Weezer kick last year for a while, kind of throwback to Weezer. So just all over.
Have you, maybe reframe this question. Do you have a favorite pair of shoes?
A favorite pair of shoes?
I've seen some great shoes around, actually, specifically at this event.
I don't even, what is this question even? Where did this one even come from? I don't know. A favorite pair of... Do you have a favorite pair of
We will keep that to ourselves.
Right, Renmar. Shout out to Renmar. I have a few favorite pair of shoes.
We'll leave it at that. Trex, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we might never work again.
Play is in our DNA. Whenever we let it out, it becomes our superpower. Now imagine an entire city being built to supercharge it. Kadir City, powered by play.
human body was built to move. Not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan EVO. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move.
We booked Esports World Cup up.
How do I put this in? It's not fitting in.
All of your fallen soldiers, eh?
Don't get me started, Chris.
You need to stop cursing these teams. It's every single time.
I'm not trying to.
Hang it up with the other losers.
I'm not trying to. I just want to support the teams that are here.
Well, Onyx are at least still playing today. They're playing their third, fourth playoff match, right? So you don't have to curse them for that anymore. At least we've moved on. We are... Well, I really don't think you should pick one of the jerseys for the finals today.
Do you guys actually think I have a curse? I mean, Liquid? Vitality? Onyx?
All of them. And some would argue it is your fault, but the grand finals coming up today, we've got Spirit up against Yangon Galacticos. I mean...
I have so much power.
You can't.
I have so much power.
No. Right,
please,
no, come on. We need to get ready. Let's go and get ready. Let's go and get ready.
Please, Chris.
Day 3 was nothing short of spectacular. The day opened with a clash between Yangon Galacticos against Team Falcons Philippines. The Burmese powerhouse defeated their long-standing rivals and completed their redemption story by returning to the grand finals.
The Burmese best the Philippines. Yangon Galacticos are the first team in the grand finals. For the first time since 2019, there are no Filipino teams in the grand finals of MSC. MLBB Esports, behold your first team to dethrone the M5 World Champions, to deny the Philippines a grand finals berth. The pride of Myanmar, Yangon Galacticos.
In the second match between Onyx and Team Spirit, history was made once again as the Dragons of the North reigned over the Sky Kings and claimed the last spot in the grand finals, making them the first EECA team to reach the grand finals in the history of MSC.
Big Sean, that was throwback again. It's gonna be Kai. Take it out by Tower and Eco. There you have it. Sveria
But the journey is not over yet. The final day of MSC at EWC 2026 will begin with Onyx and Team Falcons PH battling for the final podium spot in the third place match and an additional $100,000 US. Then after 50 matches and 13 grueling days, we have reached the end of it all. The Grand Finals. Yangon Galacticos versus Team Spirit. The culmination of skill, strategy, and resilience will be brought to the table. But only one team will lift the trophy. Only one team will claim the grand prize of $1 million US. Only one will rise above. Who will be the new kings of MSC at EWC 2026?
A new chapter in MLBB history is going to be written today. And at MSC in Paris, France, at EWC 2026, we will see maybe one of those teams that were mentioned before, Myanmar's representative, Yangon Galacticos, or Team Spirit from EECA, do the unthinkable and crown themselves a champion here in one of the most prestigious tournaments of the year. But it is not without the fight to get there. And there is so much more that is happening today before we get to that grand final moment that we have to talk about as well. But for those of you who have been watching this tournament, the MSC of upsets, we have so quoted it, there is more in the tank, and there should be more drama to unfold. My name is Rain Day. Welcome back to the studio. Welcome back to the Nova Legion Gauntlet. We've got Renmar and Trex with me. It's going to be an amazing day of MLBB action. As I mentioned, we got a little aperitif before we get into that $1 million grand finals later on today, starting at 2 p.m. CEST. Today, we do start, however, with our third place and fourth place match, Renmar, which is not a joke either. There's $100,000 on the line. There's 100 club championship points on the line. Everything is on the line today.
Yeah, I passed by the players yesterday of both Falcons and Onyx. Of course, I saw the Falcons boys first, and they've already moved on from the loss. They're already talking about today. And one of the players, I'm not gonna say who, but they did say, we still got tomorrow. It's $100,000 US more. Woo. We're gonna run for that.
Trex, I mean, it's no joke.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what it's all about today. Who can recover the best after yesterday's loss and still bring their A game? 100K difference is huge for every team in this tournament. A lot of teams were just fighting to get to that point first off.
The STC Rewind will help us break down what happened earlier in this tournament. And speaking of yesterday, we had maybe the most fireworks of all. It was already a banger because we saw the top dogs coming into this, whether it was SRG from Malaysia, Team Liquid Philippines. The top contenders fell one by one by one. The winners of MSC previously fell one by one until it was just Onyx remaining. And then they fell yesterday as well, guaranteeing us a brand new champion.
Yangon Galacticos and Team Falcons, that match was insane. It started off with Yangon showing their dominance, but then Falcons showed theirs, but then Yangon made some moments wherein they capitalized on errors, uncharacteristic errors from Team Falcons.
Team Spirit as well. They looked like a team that was on a mission, Trex. But, you know, they were going up against people who were doubting them. I mean, not Onyx particularly, but the fan base still believed that they could have an Indonesian representative in that grand finals because that's what we're used to.
I think nobody expected what we're going to be witnessing today. It's unprecedented. I think it's hoped for by a lot of fans around the world, but year after year after year, it is normally the same regions that compete in these grand finals. And for the first time in a very long time, we have something very, very different ahead of us.
Yeah, but as we mentioned earlier, it started off with the Falcons realizing the Titan that they were up against. I know they are one of the Titans of MLBB, but the performance of Yangon Galacticos in those first two games were nothing short of titanic. You see the emotions from Coach Marvs, even Zay's Cass, one of the biggest streamers in Myanmar. It meant so much for the country to get that win.
And doing it with all Myanmar local players. Nobody was imported, except for the coach, actually, who happens to be Filipino. But that's okay. We still represent. Renmar's happy about that. He's smiling. At the end of the day, though, it's still Myanmar doing something that was unprecedented. And on the other side of it, we had more.
Team Spirit, how they dissected and dominated Onyx in 3 games. They swept Onyx. They got to battle and exercise their demons, and they did so in convincing fashion.
more than convincing fashion. The fact that it was a 3-0 is still blowing my mind. I remember after game number 2, I'm like, this could happen. They're about to 3-0 Onyx. What is going on? And the doubt was still there because Yangon Galacticos almost did the same thing. It won 2 games. I'm thinking Onyx is going to make a comeback and we're going to go the distance. But no, Team Spirit puts a stop to them quickly.
Yeah, and that was really important because you could tell that if you gave them a little bit of room, it might have just been a best of 5 that went all the way. Of course, our club championship Aramco rankings will give us another story that's underlying all the action happening today, which is that we are fighting for tens of millions of dollars behind the scenes with the club championship rankings. Remember, this is all tying every game at EWC together, all of the 40-plus titles that are here, all of the 6-7 weeks. These orgs are competing for a major prize, and that's the opportunity to be a club champion. And if you can do that, like Team Falcons have done back-to-back, it could change the direction of your org. Not as Vincier currently in front, but going into today, there are 2 teams that are actually still playing, Team Falcons and Onyx, who have some implications here if they get a win.
Yeah, but I hope they don't forget, as an organization, the Team Spirit is just looming there close by. They're at 950. If I'm not mistaken, that should be 1,000 points if ever they win the grand finals later. But for Falcons, we focus onto them. They really want to get this 3rd place placement. They haven't won a title yet here at EWC 2026. At least get all the points you can get, and then just win one down the road. That will change the picture completely.
The difference is when you look at 1,600, you go to 1,750, you go to that to 800. I mean, the difference between 3rd or 4th or 5th, it might be 100 points. That is what's on the line. Falcons stand to win if they can get 3rd place, 100 more points. So we'll see what happens. Chris has an update on the overall club championship for us as well.
Well, thank you, guys. You've let me outside here in Paris. It is a lovely day, as it has been for the past 4 weeks. But club championship-wise, let's talk about it. Our main story this week really has been about Falcons and Vitality. At the start of the week, Falcons were faltering, but they have started to catch themselves up with a good result. And Vitality's poor one has really allowed them to close that gap. It was, of course, around like 1,000 at one stage, but it's been cut down by 300 points by Falcons. And if they win in their 3rd, 4th place game today, it will be cut down again. Another 200 points is on offer. So a massive, massive moment for the side of Falcons. It could be cut down, 500 points on offer for them today if they can finish in 3rd, which could be huge in the club championship. Plenty of other games that Falcons are involved in as well. There's a little bit going on in Street Fighter. They've got a good opportunity to win it in Warzone. They could be first by the end of the week. Let's see how it does close out. We'll be updating you throughout the rest of the day. That is your small club championship update.
Thank you, Chris. Falcons known for being pretty much one of the best teams in Warzone as well. I've had the privilege of casting them in some of their matches. That is a good thing to look out for. As today and, of course, tomorrow comes to a close, we will continue to update you, but it's all about MLBB and MSC. We got our grand finals. We got our 3rd, 4th place match, and to get there, we had to crush some keys. That's right. It's an EWC Classic. When you go home, you don't just get to leave the building. You got to get your key crushed, guys.
And he was excited for that one. You could tell so much emotions on his face as he's crushing it too. Like he's into it.
He looked like he was like pressing hard.
He was enjoying it.
Yeah, he was like, how hard can I crush this, please?
Yeah. It was pretty poetic, though. It was the Filipino head coach of Yangon Galacticos to crush the key of the last hope of the Philippines for the championship at MSC. And of course, Kid Bomba, I'm pretty sure that felt great for him.
Oh, yeah.
Onyx has been a boogeyman for him in international, so he got that.
Certainly has. Here's a look at our knockout bracket. We had a week of group stages to lead to this moment, which then gave us our quarterfinal matchups. We saw Team Spirit and Onyx move out early, 3-2, defeating Aurora Gaming, who many thought were the best team coming into this knockout stage. Onyx took them down. We expected a big play from them versus Team Spirit, but no, it was a 3-0. And Mom Bomba, Sis Bomba have been features in our crowd every single event. Kid Bomba playing out of his mind. Yangon Galacticos on the other side came in undefeated. They would take their first 2 losses against Team Falcons, and then they would go in and take them down to ultimately send Falcons and Onyx into our 3rd place match, which we will see today to start off our action, and then we will finish with our grand final starting at 2 p.m. CEST, Team Spirit versus Yangon Galacticos.
It's the battle for 3rd. It's the M5 Grand Finals rematch for the battle for 3rd in MSC. It feels like we're heading into a new chapter, an end of an era. I'm not saying it's the end of the PH era. My Filipinos, they'll come after me.
Did you just say it's the end of the PH?
No.
Clip it.
Say that. Don't clip that.
He said
Don't
it.
clip that. No,
It's not me.
That wasn't me.
It
That's
was
not what I
him.
said. No. No,
What
but
didn't you say?
I just mean like it's the end of an era in the sense that it's the same regions we keep seeing in the grand finals. We see the same regions dominate.
Damage is done.
Yeah. I got no more recovery.
I think the biggest point is neither of these two teams are part of a MPL essentially.
Yeah.
It's not a professional league that they're coming from. It's more of it's still a pro league in a sense, but there's a big difference between the MPL regions and the regions outside of that. And the fact that both teams, it's not just one that snuck in, got a good win. It's not just one team that's going up against Philippines or Indonesia or Malaysia. It's both teams facing off in an unprecedented match. Like, it is honestly still mind-boggling to think about.
Yeah, the good news is that it don't matter because they took down MPL, MAL, MOL, whatever you want to call it. They took it down. So they are here. They are in the grand finals, and they're going to be playing for $1 million. When you take a look at who you think might get the win, not only us have a say up here, not only the players, but you as well. You have the chance to earn your share of $300. That's right. $1,000 of prizes. So get your pick'ems in. Let us know who you think is going to take this grand finals M5 rematch or later on as well in our grand final for MSC here. And also, I cannot leave without saying one more time, it's Rhino Day, baby! Let's go! Make sure to grab your emotes and check this out. This is the celebration that keeps on giving, so go be a part of it. In-game, it's Rhino Day. Get those emotes, flash them to your competitors.
I hope Rhino Day never ends. I hope it just keeps going.
I don't think it will. I actually don't think it will.
All the way until the end of the year, next year.
Rain Day just has to keep on posting videos about it.
Happy Rhino Day.
I'm changing my, you know what, if Rhino Day continues for long enough, I'm going to change my name to Rhino Day. It's not too far. Somebody probably will let me do it.
Clip that.
Clip that.
Clip that. Okay, guys, the main story of today, Pride on the line for this third, fourth place match. This is what many would think a grand final should look like in MLBB. Heck, this is what many have seen a grand final look like in MLBB. A M5 rematch. The Philippines, Indonesia, Onyx, and of course, Team Falcons PH. Renmar, so much on the line. Yes, $100,000. Yes, the club championship points, but it's also pride.
Yeah, it's definitely the key word for this matchup. Onyx has not been able to get a big, iconic win against this roster. Of course, it was few back then. Now it's Haji. There's a new element to them in having Keller and, of course, Lupi, who has been fantastic for the team. But if you're looking at pride, I think it'll hurt the pride of Onyx more if they lose today. While for Falcons, I mean, there's a sense of pride there too, but I'm pretty sure I'm looking at boys, I'm looking at them right now. They're thinking, we need the points for the bosses, and we need that money.
I mean, there's a lot going on, Trex. We'll dive into these two teams in a moment, but to introduce Team Falcons PH, you've seen them make a great run throughout this tournament. We've got Flap, Kyle, Haji, Ogwin, and Super Marco, and we caught up with with Kyle before the set.
We are now with Kyle from Falcons PH. Kyle, how are you feeling coming into this match?
Not quite good.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Everything okay? Everyone well rested for today's match?
Yeah, everything well prepared right now, and we've reset yesterday of the losses.
That's a very quick reset.
Yeah.
Are you used to doing this type of thing, or?
Yep, it's very easy to us to quick reset, and yeah, let's focus on the match.
Focus on the match. What's your mentality coming into this match? It's a third placer, it's a bronze match. Obviously, it's not the situation that you would have wanted, but are you still going to be super try hard for this match as well?
Yeah, of course. It's a big money for us. This battle for third. It's really important to us.
And it's kind of like a rematch to a certain grand finals. M5.
Yeah.
Are you expecting Onyx to, try to find their revenge today?
Yeah, I think so, but we didn't give easily.
Okay, they're not going to give it easily. So what happened, actually? We didn't get to talk after your loss yesterday. What do you think that Yangon did better than you guys yesterday?
I think what happened yesterday, we have a lot of mistake that take our losses, and for sure we need to bounce back to reset this coming matches. Yeah.
So you mentioned about mistakes, Kyle. What mistakes are we talking about? Was it execution that was off? Communication that was off?
I think it's the execution. Maybe we have we didn't play our game, that game 5, and our discipline is not off that game 5. So yeah, that's why we lost.
Okay, so the discipline just wasn't there, and I'm sure you had a quick reset last night. And if we're talking about the meta, Kyle, what do you think about the meta? Do you like the meta?
For me, I think if I'm gonna rate it, I'm gonna rate 8 out of 10 because it's like a weird meta right now, and it's like heroes that weird heroes, but it's gonna you can execute right that what you call that, any teams that you can execute the hero that weird. Yeah.
Okay, so it opens up really weird heroes.
Yeah.
If I had to ask you if there's something you didn't like about the meta, what would you say?
I think the hero of the tank. There's so many tank heroes that coming to the tournaments that we didn't see like in our practice.
Okay, so you were surprised as well.
Yes.
And obviously, it sucks to be a jungler in that case, right? So, speaking of jungler, you are going to have a jungler matchup once again against Kyrie. Kyle, give us something. Give us a message to Kyrie. Other than good luck, have fun, give the best show. What else is there?
Yeah, I think it's same. I'm going to say to Kyrie, good luck and have fun. And yeah.
Nothing else? You don't want to say anything else?
Else? Because Kyrie is my good friend, and yeah, we always talk about in outside the game. Yeah, we're friends.
Okay, so they're friends outside and in the game, so just good luck and have fun.
Onik is our friend and best friend.
Oh, it's friend and best friend.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to see the friends and best friends hit at it in the bronze match. Thank you so much for this interview, Kyle. We're going to throw it over back to you guys.
I thought we were going to get some trash talk here. I mean, friends and best friends, I don't need to see you guys skipping together, holding hands to start this third place match. We need pride on the line, baby. Come on, keep it together. No, I love the fact that these two are competing, but also keeping it respectful because they know they didn't get to where they wanted to be, but there's still so much to play for. He mentioned that $100,000. Not just Team Falcons PH are going to be playing for it. It's Onik as well, who yesterday the results did not go the way that they thought. At least Team Falcons clawed it back to a Game 5. Onik lost 3-0, so they have yet to get a win in the last 2 days. They will desperately hope to get off to a good start, and the person that might be the most important to make sure they have that stability is Kelra. We caught up with him and Eterna earlier on.
We're now with Kelra for our third placer. Kelra, how has everyone reset after yesterday?
Just sleep and eat.
Sleep and eat, but everyone's okay?
No.
No, not okay.
Because this is the second time we play Battle for Third.
Yeah, that's right, but you're under a different banner. How does it feel to be back here again, Kelra?
So sad for me because I already said last year, way back EWC 2025, that I don't want to play again in Battle for Third.
But here you are.
Yeah, no choice.
No choice. Are you gonna give everything though?
Yeah.
Still. You still want to win?
Still 100,000 USD.
Okay. So money's on the line now.
Yeah.
Is pride also on the line, Kelra?
Yeah.
Well, what pride? Can you talk to us about the pride?
About the pride, I want to prove that even though we didn't reach the finals, I want to prove that I can still play with PH team.
Okay, and I think you can do it.
I think.
You
so.
think 100% out of 10?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still 100%.
Still 100%. Okay. But after playing with, an ID team finally here at MSC, what do you think is lacking from the ID region?
I think the communication and sometimes, communication.
So it's just communication. Do you think mentality is an issue for the Indonesian
I think
teams?
no.
No.
The only lacking is communication.
Okay, so the only thing that's lacking is communication. And technically, I know, again, this is kind of weird to ask you, but technically this is a rematch of M5. So did you hear anything about that from the rest of your teammates?
Yeah, expectation versus reality.
Expectation versus reality. What does that mean?
Because it should be the grand finals, not in battle for third.
It should be the grand finals, not battle for third.
Yeah.
But of course, you're coming in with a lot of energy again for this battle of third place. You mentioned about your pride as well. So Kelra, with that in mind, do you have a message to your opponents here in the third place match?
For my opponent, still good luck and have fun, and let's give the viewers a very good match.
I heard you guys are best friends. Is it true?
Yeah.
Best of friends?
Best friends
Best
forever.
friends. Thank you, Kelra. Good luck for your third placer.
Thank
We're
you.
now going to throw it over back to you guys.
Does seem like there's a little bit of more relaxation, although Kelra has always given us those fun responses, and he continues to do so. Battle for third on the line here with Onic and Team Falcons PH, and I think, Renmar, this is a matchup that has a lot of implications. We said it before, but for a third place match, there is so much to fight for still.
Yeah, I hope as we progress into this match, you see the players getting more hyped up, forgetting that it's a battle for third, thinking that it's a grand finals. They bring out the best in each other.
They truly do. And I think if we were talking about whether this match is just going to be a show or not, I think no matter what, we're going to have some great games here.
Yeah.
Whether it's for third, whether it's grand finals, these two teams are always going to bring us some entertainment.
Yeah, I mean, I think getting to the knockout stages, having $100,000 guaranteed, but then in third and fourth place, having the ability to double that prize pool, that has got to be motivation. And one of the things I love about MLBB, and we have told stories behind the scenes, what these players have been able to do back in their home countries with this prize money, it's life-changing.
Yeah, a bunch of them have their own small businesses, have set up homes for their families, have fulfilled long-held promises of mom, dad, I'm gonna build a house for you, I'm gonna get you a car. Extra 100,000 G's for the team, that means the world.
It's huge. I mean, it is, what is it? That's practically 2 MPL championships right there for your team.
Yeah.
That's 2 home league championship wins in just one game. All the work they put in for a whole season essentially is cooked down to this one game right here.
Well, so far in this tournament, adaptation has been the test, but it is also now the requirement to move forward. Team Onic and Team Falcons PH have not had the roads they expected. Expectation versus reality is the theme for this third place. But when it comes to the club championship, when it comes to an extra $100,000, there is so much on the line in this third place match. So you got to pay attention. You got to give your best. One series could be the difference between life-changing money or going home still wanting more.
Good morning, my friends, MLB fans all around the world. MSC 2026 at the Esports World Cup is almost coming to a close. We have one matchup before we head into our grand final. As you've heard on our panel, this one is for the third and fourth place. But trust me, none of these two teams are going to be playing it easy. It's a big Indo-Philippines matchup. And Rose, we've seen this one 1,000,000+ times.
Yes, you know what, Milosh, you are right. Because this is not just a IDPH matchup. This is a rematch of the M5 Grand Finals. And if we remember correctly, that was the matchup where Falcons came out on top.
That's some sort of bragging rights to play with, right? You want to continue on with that story, at least here in third place at MSC. And for Onic, they've been here before, even in MSC last year. They want to go beyond that. They want to at least hold on to that third place.
Oh yeah, now the question is, who will actually get the bragging right of number 3 here at MSC at EWC? So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Team Falcons Philippines! Battling in one final match where they are pouring their everything. No longer for the trophy nor the championship, but for $250,000 US and all the bragging rights in the world of MLBB. As this is the M5 Grand Finals rematch. Can the Falcons glide their way through the Sky Kings once again?
Oh, they're coming in hot and a lot of energy behind it. This is what we want to see here in our third place matchup. So please join me in welcoming their opponents. The Sky Kings find themselves for 2 consecutive years between Cloud 6 and 7 at MSC. And whilst the trophy is out of their reach, the cash prize and the bragging rights are still up for grabs at the MSC stage. From the gold lane to the jungle and everything in between, these two rosters are incredibly familiar with one another, including in the moves themselves. My God, dancing steps before a third place game.
Hold on. Can we do something different for this third placer match? Instead of a handshake, I would like a little bit of a dance battle. Kelra, Flap, let us meet in the middle as the rest of the players take their seats.
As you're used to it, please come on into the middle.
A little bit of a dance battle. Oh yeah, they're going at it, guys. They're going at it.
Yeah.
There you go. The pride of the Filipinos in the third placer match. All is fun and all is well here in MSC at EWC 2026. Milosh, this will be one hell of a match, and it's going to be super duper fun. I cannot wait. Let us show it over to the desk.
Well, what a pleasant surprise to start our day off with a little dance battle. I didn't know that was a part of the competition at EWC, but I think Kelra, Flap, they might have just won it.
Yeah, Trex, you wanted entertainment. We got it right away.
We got to start things off a little light before things get intense, obviously. Yeah. Show the love and competition between these two teams.
The truth is they're shaking off some emotion. You could tell that they went through the heartbreak yesterday, and now they've got to bounce back. It's like doing the ultimate exit interview. You have to come back on stage after losing, after failing what you wanted to get, and still show up and perform, still put on a smiling face. So I like that they're leaning into it, but also choosing a different approach, because yesterday's seriousness in this meta didn't quite work. So they know they've got to adapt, they've got to take a different route.
Yeah, so far, I think they're just slowly peeling away the layers of the onion that is this match. There's personal pride. They want to get past that hurdle of, oh, we're not in the final, so let's see what we can do for ourselves. Then that steps up. It's team pride. It's org pride until the creeping reality hits them like a truck. It's country pride. It's Philippines and Indonesia.
And sometimes when you get down to it, in a sport, when there's so much on the line, the only thing you could do as a player, Trex, is just focus on the game. You have to put all that to the side and show up and play how you normally play.
And if there's any players that can do that, I think it's them right here. Already, I mean, look at my guy. He's locked in. They're ready. Everything else is gone at this moment. The fans are invisible. It's nothing but them and their opponents in front of them. And you got to think, these two teams right here, they were prepared probably to face each other in the grand finals.
Just in a different setting.
They were very prepared for this moment. They know exactly what they are about to go up against.
And I hope we still get to see surprises in this MSC of upsets and surprises, because last year there was one big surprise that Onyx, the Indonesian Onyx, pulled up against Onyx Philippines, wherein we got to see Kiboy play an Estes. Can we get that kind of level of surprise again for this battle for third? I hope so.
Well, it is going to be a matchup of stars. You could see it in the sign. I feel like Maui maybe is he telling the crowd all of our pre-notes? Because that sign had Gold Standard versus Bulletproof Marco. That's what I was going to talk about here, because the gold lane is a big matchup between two stars, but also two keys to victory for these teams that they have to somehow enable when so much of the focus has been on the EXP lane and the jungle.
Yeah, I think these are two gold laners that have gone down in the history of MLBB, and to see them face off today, I mean, we're in for something. And every lane speaks on that. EXP, Kyle versus Kyrie in jungle, mid lane. I mean, all of these players, all 10 of them are veterans.
Now let's see what happens in the draft, because we saw how important the draft was for Falcons when they slowly started to realize how they can pick away at Yangon Galacticos, up until Yangon Galacticos got the best of them in game number 5. Meanwhile, Onyx, it seems like they just couldn't figure out team spirit yesterday. Let's see if Onyx knows Falcons than they did Spirit in the previous matchup. Flying Cloud, though, does not bode well for Falcons. They have no wins in that map this MSC.
And you know, it's interesting because they are on red side as well, and Onyx is a team that does well notoriously on red side, but also on blue side. So this is a squad that is going to be maybe playing a little bit out of their comfort zone, a little bit out of their strengths in comparison to their matchups. But these bans will tell a story. The Selena prioritizing the Barats and the Atlas. That forces also the Fanny and the Freya on the side of Falcons with one more to go.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of bans, it has been so interesting seeing them evolve because every single day, every single matchup, depending on what team they are going against, each team decides and opts for different options. And the Selena and the Barats, I feel like, are the new addition in a game one set of bans, especially against Falcons. The Selena has been a problem for a lot of teams.
Yeah, Trex, earlier you were mentioning the importance of each lane matchup. I think we have to look with EXP first. Lutpi is still undefeated on his Uranus. Meanwhile, his counterpart in the lane, Flap, is undefeated on the Esmeralda. So Falcons decides to respect the Uranus and give the Marcel. But remember, the Valentina is still open, and with Marcel giving shields to the lowest health member of his team as his passive, they might just lock in a surprise Valentina Esmeralda right away.
Esmeralda could be good along with that Valentina. Barat's also still open. Harara
is
also... Oh,
but I like the Harara, though.
Onyx.
I mean, not Barat's, Belleric. The beast, my bad. Belleric also still open, and then the Harara as well, which I feel like some of these picks, as we've gotten farther in the tournament, haven't been as guaranteed win. We've been seeing the Harara lose here and there, so maybe it's a smarter idea to round out that front line before you start locking in those damage picks like you were saying, Renmar.
Yeah, but Falcons decide to go up against that. They leave the Valentina open. I think they're expecting the Valentina won't get picked up by Onyx, as you usually want to pair up heroes such as the Kimmy with this Marcel, sometimes the Eve, so that you get a longer box of lockdown so your opponents can't get away. Falcons, I love this Esmeralda pickup. The Hirara this early on, I feel like this is just a lot of respect onto Kyrie and the capabilities of that hero. Again, a lot of players, pro or normies like us, say Hirara is broken.
And she doesn't require the same level of execution to be effective, and those iframes are proving to be big either baits, big either opportunities to go in and get that extra kill and get out.
Yeah.
They're things that I feel like now, after an entire tournament of seeing, we thought Ling might compete. Fanny's banned much too often and requires such a high skill ceiling to perform. And Harara seems like by far the most standard best pick, and that's why we're seeing the grab there. But they do take the Valentina away if that was a choice that Falcons wanted to go to later on.
And this pick right here with the Harley has become the answer to the Harara. It's become the possibility of defeating it. And the big thing is it can keep its range, right? It can target down. It can go against it in the Turtle or Lord pit. But I do think there's also a big risk with this pick. If it takes a big hit early on in the game in the first 5 minutes, you don't see much action until late game at that point. Don't get me wrong, Harley still does have a decent late game. Once that Holy Crystal, once that 4th or 5th item gets locked in, there's possibility for damage and still kill pressure in late game. There's early game pressure, but again, if it gets a death or two, you're kind of locked in for only late game possibilities.
Yeah, which is why you see the roam pickup on the glue for Team Falcons here, because if you go back just a few months ago with all of the Harleys and Leomords and Suyos that we saw in the jungle, glue roam is hot commodity because of how quickly you can help clear the mid lane, and it encourages an early invade after you clear the first wave in mid, whether you're going to go to the orange buff or purple buff, but most of the time teams love to go in the purple buff. Surprising here though that Falcons are reading Onyx as the possibility of picking up a Ruby, so that might be a little bit of a teaser in the mindset of Falcons, wherein they might be a little bit more close range and clumped up together. One pick they have to watch out for here in the gold lane is the Granger of Kelra. That pairs very well with the Marcel, and together with the Harley scales up way too quick.
Well, I think I was first going to ask this question before we saw the ban come out. Claude, do you respect the ban? Because that's what Super Marco did yesterday to start turning the games around. He had that moment where they dove him, got the turtle, got the shield back up, and then turned it back into a 2-0 win, and that won them the game. The ban comes out immediately for Onyx.
And what makes that so interesting is earlier on in this tournament, the Claude kind of fell off, and it just goes to show how much of a comfort pick this can be for some of the gold laners still in this tournament. Even a hero that a lot of other teams couldn't pull off, Super Marco is just a menace on. So very well done by Onyx, I think, calling that out. Eudora also goes down, which could have been a great stiff arm to this Harley. One of the few heroes who can quick stun it still. Falcons now, all bans off the table. They're on the gun for first pick and second phase.
I think they save up their mid lane pick for later. They need to see the gold laner of Onyx get picked up first. I think just go ahead and pick up your not mid laner. Excuse me, gold laner. There you go. Clint is the pickup for Falcons. They need a little bit more range. So it makes sense why they ban out the Sora and the Ruby. You get the Glue and the Esmeralda together in the front line. Of course, Herrera always puts herself in the front line. That's just the nature of the assassin hero. And you need something in the back. Now, the mid lane pick of Falcons will either be something static with a strong box, such as an Eve, or some really great crowd control to help out the Clint, like the Loyi or the Vexana.
We have been seeing Falcons enjoy picking up that Farza. Could be another one.
Yes.
Very something similar range. They've opted out of the two big, backline mages with the Yve or the Farza. They have opted for the Farza sometimes, the burst damage that it supplies. They could use Shred, though, with the Yve. I think because they already have so much burst on their side, could definitely be the option. The Granger gets locked in from the side of Onyx. We saw how well Kelra was able to play that before. Another hero that other teams aren't using, but Kelra is making it a monster.
Yeah, again, perfect pairing with the Marcel, and I think this is time. You mentioned Farsa, that would be great. Loyi wouldn't be that bad either, but if you're looking at comforts, I think I'm going to have to double down on what you said, Trex. The Farsa looks good here.
Loyi, I was thinking it. The only risk is the Harley against it, but against with their lineup, the Jushin's still open. Jushin's still open.
I thought they'd want to get more long-range burst and poke, but they're doubling down on crowd control in the center of the map. That's interesting.
Crowd control has been key in this meta. It's been the thing that has been a menace to so many teams. This is a crowd-controlled meta at its core.
Well, there was a lot of bans targeting the EXP lane, and we have a chance now to see Phoveus let through, and that'll be interesting. Can he do enough on the Onyx? We know how the Marcel has been dominant early, has lost a couple times late, but this is Onyx and Team Falcons PH, their last chance to make their final statement before M8. It all comes down to this, $100,000 on the line for this third place match, but more so than that, the pride of the Philippines and Indonesia, expectation versus reality. Let's kick off our finals day here for MSC and send it over to our casters, Naisu and Leo.
After many matches and almost 2 weeks that lead us to this point, it's a third place match, a battle of pride, but also a whopping $100,000 between third and fourth place finishes here. We'll find out who gets the victory. It's me, Naisu, Leo, bringing this best of 5. And later on, the grand final is going to be amazing too, but this one is a rematch, Leo, all the way back from M5.
That was almost 3 years ago where they took it all the way to 7 games. Here tonight, they might be able to take it all the way to 5 games. We're expecting a slobber knocker between these former champions of their respective regions. Flap here gets caught out, flickering through. Haji with the flare looking for the choke down. Lifts up Keyboy and puts him down just as quickly. Kyle with the steal. Oh my lord, a minute in. Attempted Grand Theft Purple. Can Kyrie stop him? Oh, he does.
He got it. All right, Kyrie secured it. Kyle's going to be able to get away here. It was interesting, too, in the draft because if I remember correctly, yesterday, it was multiple times. Oh, hold on. All right, flicker burned. Keyboy should be, yeah, he's fine. He's on the Marcel. He's got enough mobility, but they went with this first pick, Marcel, who's kind of slipped through some of the drafts. He's been either banned out or teams have gone and picked him up. But it was Onyx that picked up the Herrera multiple times throughout yesterday's
Whoa. Speaking of the Herrera, Kyle here put down a quarter of his health. Ogwin stopping the backup from coming through. It's not just Onyx who has this identity that they're forcing through from yesterday's bouts. Even Falcons, you see them play the Esmeralda once again, the glue in Ogwin's hands that, 2 games in a row dismantled Yangon Galacticos' Yangon Yam, or the Burmese Ube. And then they still have Haji on the very high prio Zushin, who, in the hands of Kaiser yesterday, was the finisher. He was the MVP for sure of game number 5. We see here Haji in trouble. Crimson flare back, and that's one major tool out for this turtle.
Yeah. They want to fight for this first objective here. Some tools already used. Sans has his own beacon that he can play into. So they've got control around this turtle. I'm not sure if Falcons really wants to do too much. Kyle's trying to get his purple buff, but they may be forced into a fight here.
Oh, Kyle secures his own purple. But then again, the retribution was short. Kyrie secures. Now Ogun flickers back. No harm, no foul. No casualties just yet, but Onyx gets the big one.
Yeah, they get the objective. Looks like taking a little break here before this. Again, no first blood given just yet. And this is kind of the nature, man, of the compositions that we've seen, throughout MSC. It's like this push and pull factor. And a lot of that has been because of where the jungle meta is, and it's fallen into. I mean, we heard Kyle share some of his thoughts leading into this matchup, exactly how he feels about the jungle meta.
I'd say that's partially true, but half of that truth, to make a better picture, is it's just these 2 teams.
Yeah.
It's rare that you see a full-on Titans of Southeast Asia clash in MSC. Look back at the last 2 weeks, Joseph. Look back at the last 2 weeks.
I'm looking back.
You see Yangon Galacticos with their own little flavor. Team Spirit.
With their own.
With the, the Dragon Davai play style. And then you have the likes of Vamos and Pro, who are just oh so aggressive. This is the first time we're seeing 2 full-on, I'd say it's safe to say now, macro-centric lineups clash.
Yeah.
So that's why we're seeing such a surgical first 2 minutes.
I mean, again, they came into this matchup in high spirits. Got to see some of the antics on stage as they both came out, of course. But, one thing's for sure, in the game, in this best of 5, they're going to lay it on the line here. They're going to give it their all. We already talked about how it's that pride factor, but also the difference in terms of money. I mean, $100,000, man. In Philippine pesos, I think that's around 6 million pesos. In IDR,
don't even get me started.
I think like almost 2 billion, something like that. It's like almost 2 billion.
It's life-changing money.
It's life-changing money even at this point.
And the fact that they can keep the brevity, harken back to their brotherhood, harken back to how far they've come and how many times they've played with each other. They decide to dance in their entrance. Like, that's just the kind of athletes and just young men they are, how much they love MLBB, while still acknowledging the stakes.
Yeah. I mean, they did mention that, again, off of the land of Dawn, they're the best of friends, right? It's always sometimes. I would say, looking at yesterday's interviews, that's one thing why I love, when we get a chance to see Kid Bomba, for example, talk, the way he speaks and the way he kind of, even his messages to the opponents, a little bit more than the good luck, have fun, that we see. But, of course, when it comes down to the in-game, that's where you really see it kind of come to fruition here between both these teams. And as we wait a little bit longer to jump into this one, that first game really kind of sets the pace of the entire series. But also, if you look at what, for example, Falcons had to go through yesterday, this sometimes in some cases a reverse sweep where you're down 0-2 and you got to come back to it. So it looks like we are back into the game. Let's go to jump back into this one. We're just under 3 minutes into this one, this first match again in this best of 5.
A minute and a half till Turtle spawns lower quarter. Not much of a distance. Flap and Lutpi have to go through. And if I'm reading the map correctly, I think Kyle might try to go ahead and play their side of the map a little more, since that first attempt at Grant the Purple kind of cost them.
Yeah, it didn't happen, right? But I feel like, too, when you just have the Harara, you're kind of allowed to do that. You just got so many ways to move across the map and kind of avoid things, It's like you're kind of self-reliant in yourself, although the most successful Harara gameplays that we've seen is because of your team being able to support that, right? So there's this kind of case where Harley probably does that. Oh, Flap. Okay, he's burning the flicker. So he's got that, but Harley essentially does the same thing. You're pretty self-sufficient to be able to move around the map. You don't have to rely too much on your team until, obviously you get to that mid or late game.
Yep, they have their stats skewed to one side slightly more on a spectrum of junglers between mobility and, single-handed burst damage. When holding down the fort, stopping the rest of Onyx from actually crossing over. So both teams respecting their boundaries, their jurisdiction when it comes to stealing away and taking out resources from the other. About 20 seconds until the turtle spawns, lower quarter. This is as safe as it gets. Again, not more than a 500 gold swing either way.
Yeah, Leo, this is about as safe as it gets. It's like you're playing, there's your side of the map, here's the line. We're drawing it, we're gonna stay on this side, you guys stay on that side. I mean, imagine, you know, 4.5 minutes in, no kills, no first bloods. Just that turtle is what they're fighting for. This one definitely looks like it's gonna be resulting into at least this 4v4 as both gold laners still up on that top side of the map. Fighting for the second turtle. Lupi's gonna jump in here.
Uh-oh, Keyboy running through. Haji bursted down, forced the Crimson Flare back, and Suns helped Kyrie score the kill via the deadly magics. Now Lupi jumping up. Ogren finds them out. In comes Kelra. Warning shots. Finds another kill on Ogren after a golden hour. Revitalize, making sure that the rest of Onyx are topped up, and in comes Lupi. Finding a couple more. Down goes Kyle, down goes Flap, and that's all she wrote. Unless Marco wants more flying clouds. In comes Haji. Looking for that choke up. Suns will be able to save himself. In comes Keyboy. The jump back and the flicker will not save Marco. Wanton mayhem on Falcon's side of the map, resulting in 6 free kills plus the turtle for Onyx.
They just got a whole lot, man. We were just talking about how nothing had happened in those first, few minutes of the game, and then all of a sudden, boom. Look at this, 3,000 lead, you got 6 kills plus a turtle.
Joseph, a whole lot is an understatement. That was a metric ton of advantage that Onyx have scored in that minute-long sequence. Again, one more look. Maybe the fact that they got the mount was the sign of, okay, maybe we should try.
Yeah, I mean, again, even fighting in between the two turrets here, I thought Falcons would be a little safe. But
That should have been.
Yeah,
that should have been, but no. The fact that there was a revitalize, and sure, despite the crowd control being sound for Falcons to an extent, it was still Onyx who was declaring and dictating where the fight happens. So now they're up 3,000 gold. Kelra can move around where he wants, and all right, say what you will about the Hirara and the Esmeralda kind of going where they want to. Uh-oh, they find Kyle once more, and there's no way Kyle survives this. Lutpi scores, and another mount. This should be a clear sign. The first time around, it did not work out.
Yeah.
Falcons should back off.
And I mean, even on this, golden hour used.
Uh-oh. Owen just chopped down to a little stomp as they force Patrick Star to take a dirt nap. Lupi gets knocked up, but again, there's no damage between Flap and Haji here. Falcons once again lose 2 for free.
I mean, what do you do? Oh, Kyrie, oh, he stops him.
He does, but the damage is real. Kyrie finds another. But there is a trade-off. Down goes Suns in mid. Haji traded out for Keyboy. What is he rocking? These enhanced basic attacks on the Marcel are doing work.
What is going on here for Falcons? I feel like across the map, it feels like Onyx is everywhere. And at this point, that's what they can do, man. Just continue to build this lead of 5,000 up ahead. The next turtle, last one, is coming up here. But look at this, Kyle. No breathing room.
That's it. We've seen Hirara survive a Deadly Magics through a sequence of spell vamps and iframes, but not like that. Not in a moment of, I don't know, savage vulnerability, because that's what it feels like, Joseph. About 2 to 3 minutes worth of that gung-ho intent that they had against Yangon Galacticos last night.
This feels like Onyx time, like in game 1. I mean,
for sure.
This is going to be the next turtle that they get 3 for 3 there. You saw the difference for gold in the gold lane, man. 2,000, I think it was, for Kelra. I'm wondering, too, if he already had the Sky Piercer. I'm not sure if we saw that. If we can take a look at the items here to see where the gold lane is falling in. Yeah, so he's got the Sky Piercer. I'm not sure exactly when he picked it up, though.
Minimum 2 stacks.
Minimum 2 stacks. Malefic Roar already. I mean, think about it, man. You got a Malefic Roar, Hunter Strike, and Sky Piercer already at that 8-minute mark. That's why, all they have to do is lay down Keyboy's golden hour. Here's some Rhapsody shots. There's the stacks. He got 4 stacks.
There you go. I counted minimum, so I'm like, all right, apparently he built it before the whole shebang went down.
Hey, man, if you could just line up Rhapsody shots and then guarantee them to hit after the golden hour is done, like, what else can you do?
Looking for more. They burst down Flap, force him to back off. Flicker spent. Again, better flickerless than dead. They will lose this tier 2, though, before the 9-minute mark. So already I think that ship has flown. That boat has sailed. They can no longer play it clean and safe. Golden hour. Putting Ogun right where they want him. Another stack for Dwayne.
That's got to feel bad. And look, there's more. It's for Marco.
Oh! The KK connection is online, baby. They're up almost 9,000 gold.
Oh, Daniel, I hate to say it, man, but this might be one of the cases where Falcons just go next, you know? It just does not seem right. I don't know if it was the fact they're on Flying Clouds and they just haven't won a Flying Cloud map, but this might end.
I mean, they have a wave coming through. Falcons can clear. And I'm glad to say, go next might not be the next thing in the to-do list. Because I think Falcons can still clean up, all right? Falcons can still kind of tighten up the belt and say we'll play cleaner. But it's going to take so much. It's going to involve Onyx saying maybe we stop.
I'm worried, you know? Change the belt, change the cowboy hat, because right now, Super Moscow, yeah, he's got to get a new horse. You know, because right now he just showed up to this rodeo without one, and that's unfortunate. He's 0-3. He's so far behind Kelra. And so what do? You know, this Lord is just going to easily go over to Onyx. They ballooned up the lead to 10,000 plus up to this point. They already took out the top base turret. Oh, look at this. The damage.
Even underneath tier 3, they take 2 for free. Kelra is close to maxing out, man. He's 1 away, building that BOD. They pop the holy shield.
Oh, no,
and even Marco, so close to the base, gets taken down.
That's not very yeehaw.
Not at all, partner.
Oh, man, it looks like it could end here. Leo, Flap, and Kyle still alive. They got a wave pushing in bot every single lane. Lord is just now spawning. Is Onyx looking to end?
Kyle, of course, used the iframe early. Couple of dashes back. Lutpi in the heat of it. Flap eats a face full of deadly magics. Down goes Ogwin. Next up is the base. Onyx one more. Kelra max out on stats. Gets another just for good measure. Onyx take game 1.
Onyx will just pad the stats in game 1. That's exactly what they were doing there at the end. They knew they had it in the bag. A dominant win in this game 1 against Falcons, man. You know, and again, you look at just the way they played. It was executed well. Onyx made it happen.
But we'll say, I think Falcons knew what was up.
Yeah.
Halfway through that game, I think they knew that go next was the next measure.
That's at one point, as much as you want to say, you know, they can come back from this. They can make a stand on the base. They can make this happen. There's some cases where that's just not going to happen. And this was one of them, at least for game. Game 1 again. Hopefully we still have 4 games ahead of us, but you know, these highlights brought to us by ST. You're going to see this kind of, it started so slow. Imagine 5 minutes in, you really don't have any action until this fight.
It was the first major sequence, 5 minutes.
Yeah, and it was off this fight, off that turtle, and then in between the 2 turrets, and then it just did not stop from there.
That's about accurate, right? I said halfway through.
Yeah.
Falcons knew, oh, all right, I think we, how do you say, we dropped the ball.
We dropped this one. And again, like, I mean, look at this. Super Mario, this is all he dealt with all game. You know, one of the unfortunate things about going against that Harley is he can just make that happen.
I'm pretty sure our panel will mention how the range on Onyx draft is just all the more superior. We'll throw it over.
Yep, let's go ahead and throw it over to the panel to break down our game 1.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, the range, the kill counts, the lineup, the energy in the Lenovo Legion Gauntlet, all in favor of Onyx here as they take game 1 over Team Falcons PH. Much to the joy of their fans. Rain Day, Remar, and Trex back on the desk after a quick game one. Sometimes we get a little bit of a longer break in the green room. Not this time around, guys. That was over fast.
Yeah, it was pretty much over in the draft. I couldn't believe that the Valentina and Esmeralda didn't go through as the instant lock-in pick right away. But I think at the same time, Onyx took some pages off of the book of Falcons by realizing the importance of the Harley, how good it is, as you mentioned, as well, Trex, against the Hirara.
Yeah, the Harley's a monster. So many things in that draft went in favor of Onyx, I feel like. So many things just kind of worked out. And as we saw, the Harley, I think a lot of teams were searching for an answer for the Hirara throughout the beginning of this tournament. And eventually the Harley popped up, right? And that was kind of the death of the Ling in a sense. We haven't seen one Ling get picked, I don't think, in all of knockout stage so far. And it was one of the most favored picks in the beginning.
Well, as you can see here, it was just dominant from start to finish. The other thing, maybe oversights, maybe want to test the waters, was the Marcel and the Phoveus getting through. The Valentina you picked up on and not grabbing the Esmeralda faster. They still ended up getting it, Falcons, but it was not a matchup that she could win at that point.
Yeah, that's why I was looking for more poke and more damage through the center of the map for Falcons. We know how great the Juicin as a pick is, but in this scenario, knowing that you're up against a Valentina, Esme, and a Harley in the center, I know teams like to pick up the Juicin as a response to the Harley, so that if ever you're the one that gets focused by the deadly magics, you back away. But you needed that damage. You put too much crowd control and put all of the damage pressure on your jungler against a Marcel.
Against one of the things that I think, that's the thing with the draft, that's the thing with the meta right now. So many picks are overlooked. There was so much counterplay in even, I think we can get a little bit more in depth in the moment, but the reality is there are so many answers to so many picks, and you think you are target banning and draft, and then you forget about, oh wait, this is still a priority that I have to worry about.
Yeah, and we're getting deeper into the meta as well, and we're also getting different motivations, different moments of them snapping back into the competition. It feels like Falcons haven't shown up yet. That was too fast of a game for them to be happy about, even with all the smiles and the different approach early on. You know what you're fighting for. There's a lot at stake. Onyx, land the first blow. And now it's time for Falcons to find a response.
Yeah, Onyx and Kelra mentioned that for him, some of the, one of the biggest things that Indonesian teams could work on, according to Kelra, is communication. That didn't look like the case for Onyx. It looked like their synergy, as even Coach Midnight and Aurora mentioned before, was just really sharp. Their comms sharp. They knew exactly what they needed to do.
Well, taking a look at that, kind of hard to break down too much because it was such a short game, but in your eyes, Trex, what went wrong? Let's take a look at the draft.
We're going to take a look at the draft. This is actually my first time getting to use this thing. I'm going to put my glasses on for it. So the major things I want to focus on is the beginning in the first set of bans. Now, Team Falcons, being on red side, opt to go for some more target bans. One of the major ones being this Uranus. And I think that is where the big downfall of this whole draft begins. Instead of banning out the Marcel, they go for this Uranus ban. And I think the idea was, I don't think they thought the Marcel was going to get picked up. I think they thought Onyx was going to favor into giving Kyrie this Hirara, giving Kyrie something that they know he's going to flourish on, because Onyx is a lot of times thought of as Kyrie. They want to make sure he gets something this strong, but instead Onyx goes for the Marcel. And the big problem is Falcon kind of falls right into it. They pick all frontliners in their beginning phase, something that Marcel is going to just stun. And then another thing that ends up getting forgotten, one of the picks that is consistently banned throughout this whole knockout stage, throughout this whole tournament, was the Phoveus. And that is the thing that is just kind of the cherry on top of this draft. I know we talked about the Harley, I know we talked about the Valentina, but the reality is the Marcel is what opened everything up. And every time that these three heroes wanted to come in, they immediately got stopped in their tracks. And I think Remar's going to go over some of the highlights that shows that how this Marcel gives the opening, that Kyrie can come in on this Harley and just shred everything up. Now, again, it was a 10-minute game. I'm not going to go any deeper than that, but Falcons is definitely going to have to think about in their next draft what they want to give over and what they want to keep for themselves, and what risks are they really willing to take in that first phase.
Yeah,
I don't know how to erase things.
No, don't worry, I got you. So clearly, it seems like Falcons decided to look way too deeply onto the Uranus pick that we could mention is undefeated for Lutfi. I'm good. I learned some techniques from Brigida yesterday about how to do this one-handed. Yeah, exactly. So this is the fight where I was wondering, why is Haji playing this position? You're up against the Harley that would want you to show yourself. I know you pick up this Juicin because, again, it's so much easier for the Juicin to just get away with a Crimson Beacon, but with the Harley so close by, and you know, based on the positioning of Onyx, that Harley is in the orange buff, he's going to be coming there. He wants to get some pokes off onto K-Boy so that they control him. But the problem is also, you already have Lutfi in a really good position to stop any responses, so that if ever Haji gets a crowd control Keyboy, Lutfi's already there to disrupt again on the Phoveus. And of course, you have Sans there as well on the Valentina with great poke, crowd control, and with the juice in his hands. We play this out, and I'm just gonna be talking over it. You see how quick Keyboy is so quick to just jump on the opportunity and not even using his golden hour yet. He holds onto it for the best moments, which should be somewhere about now, if I'm not mistaken. There you go. Just when Super Marco arrives just in time to deal damage, the other members of Falcons have already fallen. And this gets stretched out to its limit, where Marco would get busted and get caught out. I think you see Keyboy and Sans calling for Kelra to come closer here, knowing that there's a potential play. Marco and Haji decide to go forward. Keyboy yet again going in through the back. Didn't even, I think he just went ahead, raised his movement speed, got that extra bit of crowd control. That just doubles down on the great communication of Onyx. Falcons seemingly lost in the comms and lost in the sauce in the draft. Didn't know how to deal with this.
Great breakdown, and again, we have to reiterate how fast this game moves. Sometimes in a tight match like this with two very competent players, people who have won championships on either side, who have been at the best of the best internationally for many years, you know, somebody beats you on a line drive. Like, it's just the way that it goes. When you have great teams, you're going to take a loss, but how well can you bounce back and give it back is going to be what we look for from Team Falcons, who definitely from both of your analysis, but also probably from just the common eye, can see that they maybe thought there would be more to that draft that they were trying to get deeper into, when the reality was you let go of the Phoveus, you let go of the Marcel, you didn't get an advantage almost anywhere in that draft, and it made the Harara your key advantage less impactful.
Yeah, you also let go of the Valentina. Again, I keep scratching my head. Why prioritize the Hirara right away? I know she's a great pick, but you already found the answer to the Hirara and to those kinds of lineups into the Harley. If ever Onyx picked up the Marcel, then picked up the Hirara later, Falcons could have picked up the Harley at the next point of the draft.
Yeah, I guess that's true. My thought is they realized the Harley was a prio pick, not only for the jungle from Onyx, but also the fact that that felt like that would be good for their jungler. And I think that if they gave away the Marcel, they were looking at giving away the Hirara as well if they didn't take her.
Yeah,
and I think that's probably in their mind. Might not have been the right call.
Yeah.
But you feel like they were just like, we can't give Marcel and Hirara, and, you know, I feel like that's maybe where they were at.
I feel like their draft was more focused on taking things away from Onyx than actually just drafting and trying to counterplay. They ban out the Uranus, they take the Esmeralda, they take the Hirara. It's more of, let's see if we can take away some of these power picks from Onyx, instead of exactly thinking too far ahead, because you're completely correct. They could have given up the Hirara. They would have got the Harley, which probably would have done better against the Marcel because you're not getting up close and personal, which probably would have done better against the Hirara because you're not getting up close and personal. It gives you more kite to pair well with your Jushin that you're possibly going to get. Just overall, the draft could have been approached differently. But one thing about Falcons that we have to remember is they lost 2 games in a row yesterday and were still able to come back and win 2. It's definitely not out for them. They have the ability to always recuperate themselves.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at this conversation and you take a look at the head-to-head and the player spotlights, it's Kelra who also had a very good game. 9-0 on the Granger. Remember that Claude was banned on the side of Super Marco. And while we do focus a lot on jungle, EXP, we even focus on mid, one of the stable foundation points for both of these teams is who has a better game. Is it Kelra or is it Super Marco? And it felt like they leaned better in the draft on that one as well.
Yeah, they ended up with a great combo for the Granger. If Harley's not going to get the kills and Granger's going to quickly get the stacks, we saw the Marcel, Valentina at the center. Again, if Falcons, you got to stick to the textbook. If you're willing to give up Marcel, pick up the Valentina. Ever since Marcel popped up in the meta, that's always been one of the things you want to pick up against it. That's why you see some teams on the blue side who want to get Marcel. They ban Valentina in the first phase because they want to be able to set up and manipulate the draft so that the other side is thinking, oh, do we ban Marcel? What are we going to do? I think this is just one of those cases where Falcons made it easy for Onyx in the draft, making it easier for them in the game.
Interesting. Trex, your thought on this Valentina? Renmar is pretty focused on.
I mean, it's one of the reasons why Valentina has consistently stayed in the meta, because every time some new crazy hero comes out with an insane ultimate, how do you counter it? Well, you just get the ultimate for your own team as well, right? It's something that even if Valentina gets a little nerfed in terms of damage, her utility, her package, her skill set will always be viable.
I think I have a little theory as to why they didn't want to get the Harley up against the Marcel, because technically you could also use the golden hour on your own teammates if ever, let's say, Kyle TZ was on the Marcel. Excuse me, Kyle just now. If he was on the Harley, he gets to pop off the ultimate, and just when the Deadly Magics pops, that's when you bring down the golden hour. But then in that case, you're going to be using the golden hour in a defensive way, which is good
better
for
than
Falcons.
Offense.
Yeah, better than offense, where Kiboy was just on the offense all the time with that golden hour.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's a really interesting thought. All of these are great to hear the opinions on, and obviously the players, they've got their thoughts. I know you do in the chat as well, and if you're streaming, you're definitely already sharing your thoughts with your community. But if you haven't streamed and you thought about it, say, I have something to add to this conversation, not just at MSC, but in all of EWC, join our creator program. Have a chance to earn some cool prizes. You also have a chance to go live and share your thoughts. Get involved in the conversation. We're here for 7 weeks in Paris. We'd love to hear what you think. Scan that QR code and join us.
Man, I don't think Falcons expected that to happen in that fast. I think that's why we saw Flap laughing there at the end. It's like, oh yeah. Even Leo was pointing it out. I was like, yeah, at some point they probably just said, let's just go to the next one, guys.
If it's a natural oversight that looks so obvious to us, I have a feeling they were just in the moment, caught off guard, and now they have thought, okay, we can't let that happen again. The interesting thing, though, to see, and we don't know where they'll be, red side or blue side, we mentioned how good Onyx is on red side, almost a 50% win rate, when that is much lower on average for most of the teams who deal with getting that second 2 picks and that final last pick. They thrive there, and they make it an even match. Will they switch over to that side? Will we see Falcons fall for another trap in that 5th pick? Or will we see it going back and Falcons realize, you know what, we can do this on red. We understand what they did. We won't make that mistake again.
I mean, Falcons in past has opted for red side. They're one of the few teams that enjoys it, and I think in a meta like this where there's just so many power picks, the swing back of the 2 in the first phase can be dealt with very, very well, especially in the hands of Falcon and their coaches. So I think, yeah, it's just to recalibrate, regroup, think about whatever side they choose, they have opportunity. It's definitely not over yet. I think that's the most important thing that we all need to keep in our minds.
If Falcons decide to go on the red side again and they still keep the same bans, then I think their mindset is really just Lutli on the Uranus is something that they'd rather not deal with. They've seen the 5 games where he went undefeated with it and realized that there's something with how Onyx plays the Uranus that even their Esmeralda might not be enough to just deal with that pick. But I don't think they should lean too hard into that. We've seen them go up against teams with some fantastic Uranus players and beat them with the Esmeralda.
Well, I mean, is it better, right? I mean, they said no Uranus, but like, okay, Phoveus, and then you have a Marcel and a Golden Hour to deal with. I mean, let the Uranus through if that's what you're facing. Notably, no Belleric as well in response to slow things down and try to set up some counter initiation if they do try to get aggressive. But again, I think you've got to get the Giants off the table. And I'm sure the bands will look different here, Renmar.
Yeah, Trex did mention it really felt like Falcons just kept wanting to deny things from Onyx, but in that desire to deny what Onyx wanted, they ended up giving everything Onyx wanted, which is a fast game where you cannot stop them.
So there's the choice, though. Falcons opt for blue side. They take first pick, which immediately forces something different. And even the way they're banning already changes up. We still do see the Barats from blue side. Last time it was Onyx, but this time Falcon decides to take out the Melissa. Oh, could we be searching for a possible Fanny here? Something of that nature?
Yeah, maybe.
Definitely something divey, looking for the Harar again as a possibility. Onyx have taken out the Freya and the Selena, similar to their last set.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the play here for Falcons. You don't see this Melissa banned out often on the blue side unless you're trying to trap your opponent into getting some specific bans so that the Fanny is open up for you. But they decide to ban out the Marcel instead.
Yeah, meaning there's still an Atlas on the table. There's still a Fanny on the table. There's still a lot of things that Onyx is forced to choose from here.
Yeah, and at the same time, if ever Falcons decide to rush pick the Fanny and not give it to Kyrie, fair. But be ready for Kiboy to show up with something like maybe the Badang that's going to be a pick. The Cho's still going to be an option. You mentioned the Atlas as well. There's a lot of picks that if ever Fanny gets rushed, the composition might not be enough to set up for it.
Oh, Onyx says, let's play the game. Let's roll the dice. We are going to leave it all open. We take out the Valentina. So Fanny open, Atlas open. Harar is still open. Lots of opportunity.
In some ways, it's saying take the Atlas. Take the Atlas. You know we can't get the Valentina. You're going to have the Fatal Links. But we've sometimes seen teams that dive into the Atlas without the Atlas Barats, without the Atlas Cho, without something else to be that kind of lockdown alongside to burn Purifies, to burn Ultimates, to burn Flickers. And I like it. I think Falcons have a good response there and said, no, that's okay. We'll grab Fanny.
Yeah, I think the internet would have dogged on them more if they decided to just give Kyrie the Fanny. So fair to just go ahead and pick it up despite there being so many answers open.
Yeah, we have to remember what happened in Game 5 of Onyx versus Aurora. The Fanny was the nail in the coffin. And when you're behind a game like this already, it might not be something you want to give up. But this means Atlas for Onyx +1. They don't need to pick up a jungler because Fanny's already been picked on the opposite side, so they have freedom to pick up something else big in another lane. Do they go into EXP lane? Alice?
Uranus Esmeralda still available, so is Zushin, so is Phoveus. A lot of characters that we've seen banned, and it's the Harara back in it. Interesting, but I think just trying not to show their cards too early.
I wonder if there's just going to be a Belleric Atlas trade here, so we get the Belleric for Team Falcons. Will make things disruptive. I think Belleric Esmeralda would be okay. You don't pick up the Uranus. You don't pick up something like Hilda to hard focus an assassin because the Esmeralda is still open, and that if ever the Hilda gets picked up, Esmeralda will be an easy pickup for Onyx. I think Esmeralda plus mid laner. Oh, Claude, yeah, you're right. Claude and Esmeralda wouldn't be bad for Falcons.
Yeah, it denies it,
Claude
saves
Belleric.
a ban.
Oh, Claude Belleric, excuse me, yeah. So they decide, do we pick up the gold laner or do we pick up the Esme?
Honestly, with how deep the EXP lane goes right now, they go for the Jushin instead. You get a little bit of crowd control. You get some possibility to kite, so definitely not a bad idea. This is a hero that is never so stable and sitting in the same spot that it can kite back from the Atlas.
Yeah.
It also can pick up the Purify and still be very, very valuable.
At least now Falcons know that they don't need to worry about that Harley. I think either... You can make a case for any of the picks to show up here, whether it's going to be the Claude, and then Onyx will later just ban out the Brody. If you pick up a Sans pick, then Falcons will ban out the Claude and maybe even ban out the Harith at some point. Should be worthy. So they leave everything open again. They don't fall into the trap. They pick up the Uranus. They're probably going to ban out the Esmeralda. That forces Falcons to ban out things like the Brody, as we mentioned, and the Moskov as well. But if you ban both of them, then you're going to have to worry about a mid lane pick being very free for Suns. Onyx decides to ban out the Deeroth because they're expecting Falcons to put that into the EXP lane as a response to the Uranus.
You play by play in this draft right now.
The way, did you see how they looked over at Flap and Flap smiles?
Yeah,
the
rap
moment
God, man.
The moment the Dairoth gets banned, Kyrie looks up, Flap looks back and smiles.
How do you guys feel about the Dairoth?
Well, yeah, it's...
Ban out, obviously.
It could definitely be a clutch pick. I don't think they needed to,
right?
But
is it keeping something open? Is that why they're doing?
Well, I mean, it
thought
can
process behind that.
It's a shredder, right? It's a big. It's something that could be the possible counter to the Uranus.
Yeah.
And maybe whatever else Onyx has in store.
Obviously, looking at the Uranus and the Esmeralda as two kind of yin and yang, two pieces of the same pie, and Sans already grab that for his team. Obviously, still looking for that mid laner for Sans as well, who went crazy. Kind of something we've called him before, Crazy Sans. Finally had that big game.
Oh, they banned out the Hanabi too. Okay, that's some really good respect by Onyx, not gonna lie.
It's interesting. It's interesting. It's definitely respect, but this means that I think of this. Are they just having fun at this point? Are they just having fun?
I hope not, man. I mean, I hope they are, but I also hope not. I feel like they got to understand the implications. I mean, this is for Falcons as an organization, the back-to-back-to-back. I'm sure that's not taken very lightly. With a quick game, you've got to get some edge.
I'm almost wondering if this is is Onyx gonna get a little crazy, go for double fighter here and like a Farza in the back or something? With the Dairoth ban, with the Hanabi ban, it's making me think that they could be going heavy front line here.
Yeah, to be fair, Paquito is still open.
Yeah.
Paquito in the gold lane for Kelra. Give it a Sea Halberd at some point so you get some form of basic attack damage. That would be good. And then you pair it up with even more burst in the center. So as you mentioned, the Farsa pack. The thing is, are they okay with playing the Paquito into the Jushin and the Belleric? So they pick up the Vexana, one of the heroes that we did mention all throughout this draft. Again, Onyx damage profile, their strong front is just good. The Vexana for the Hirara in the mid as a means to support that jungler is so much better.
Have they had an answer to the Fanny yet? Do you feel like they're missing something here on the side of Onyx?
A little bit.
Yeah, could be the Moskov as they end up getting the Claude.
Okay.
The fact that they locked in this Vexana first, though, means they're definitely still thinking about how they want to round out this draft. But yes, Moskov could be an answer. I mean, it's not exactly an answer, but it doesn't get targeted down as easy. They haven't found any hard crowd control. Picking up the Uranus, also a little bit dangerous, because the reality is he has zero crowd control as well, and Fanny can just move right by him. The Paquito.
And it is the Paquito gold.
Yeah. They're willing to play into it despite the presence of the Jushin, Esme, and Belleric. They're feeling it today. Onyx is feeling it today.
Kelra mentioned he's more comfortable on a marksman, but he can play it.
Yeah, and this is where that Dairoth ban comes in, right? Knowing we're going to have this heavy front line where if a Dairoth comes in and shreds down the armor of this Uranus, shreds down the armor of this Paquito, there could be a problem. The Vexana also will be more protected. And now you have this big group where everyone can kind of stick together, Ube-esque, and the Fanny coming into that, it is a death ball for, so that is your answer. Instead of crowd control, we just all stay together, and if Fanny comes in, you die.
No need to control it. We'll just all stay in a crowd, Onyx say, as they try to go back-to-back with wins. Can they take a 2-0 lead over Team Falcons PH? Naisu, Leo, what do you think about these drafts?
I like them, man, you know. Good drafting here for both sides. It makes sense here, and I think for Falcons, after essentially that first game stomp that Onyx had, this is what you want to go ahead and, you know, bring in some of your best heroes, make it work. Kyle got his Fanny. But again, this is also Onyx. They remember when they brought up the Fanny, Leo, and so they know the game plan to play against a Fanny here.
And that's what I like the most is both teams came in with answers. There are less questions than there are solutions. So I'd like to see Falcons equalize here 1-1.
Yeah.
Because game one, I think 95% of the community will say that was no game.
Yeah. Like in their minds, they want this to be game one, basically. But nonetheless, Onyx, if they do happen to go ahead and secure this game, they'll be at that match point. And again, we've already talked about what's on the line here now for Falcons, specifically, you know, playing into this one. Putting something like the Claude on Marco is way better, I feel like, than having that Clint, just because, again, you could be a little more self-reliant. He's got a Purify to work with. This was the hero, again, that, you know, this bulletproof Marco moniker started on, and just the fact that he's really hard to kill on it. So some of that alleviated by the fact that you complemented it well with a Jushin, who could help control some of these team fights, you know, around this beacon and that Lantern Flare. Flap, usually pretty dominant on the Esmeralda. I mean, the XP lane is going to be, you know, nothing's fancy is going to happen against Uranus and Esmeralda. It's more of what happens into the first objective fight, which is just seconds away here.
It's interesting that both sides actually commit a few rotations to bottom. I think they knew that both of those gold laners needed a little bit of help unlocking themselves to try and make for quick rotations. Lutfi, man-to-man defense here on the Flap, trying to get a bit of damage before Flap actually hits level 4. The Prior actually does that first. T-Boy looking for a quick frigid breath to stop Flap from pushing in. Quick knock up on that Lantern. Keyboy down to an 1/8 of its health. He does survive. Jump in, falling Star Moon answered by internal guard. Extra bodies for Onyx does help reset the turtle.
Kelra comes through. Rest of the fight, they already got the beacon out. A whole lot expended for this first turtle.
Another big knock-up. Put that Eternal Guard Witch, why not? Kelra punching Haji in, forcing him to go back. Suns with a little bit of burst damage from that Vex. Takes down the turtle. Lutfi threatening away Kyle's purple, but I guess that was Falcon's priority to begin with.
Oh, look at this threat too. Kelra enough just to plant himself right here. The full champ stance here in front of Kyle, but again, he wants to go ahead and secure his golem. Keyboy and Sans are just here too.
Whoa! Oh! Massive Fatal Links catching Kyle, serving him up. Face the fist on Kelra, but Haji trades it out for him. 1 for 1. All in an effort to secure the golem. Joseph, I don't think that was worth it.
You know what? I think at this point, Kelra, he's happy to take it. You know, it slows down the Fanny buildup, I guess.
Oh no, another EG. In comes Kyle. He wants to go again. But there's 3 of them there. Make that 4 if you're counting the EG. What this does allow for Falcons to do, though, is put a lot of bank on Marco. Marco spent the past minute just taking waves. Unfortunately, he did not get the chip away at the shield. So I guess he's just half happy with the outcome on that.
Yeah. So it looks like at least Kyle's going to be able to get his orange buff. I didn't know if Onyx would continue to put pressure there. A couple punches here from Kelra. Keyboy's here around the corner. Okay, nothing's going to happen after this. Again, good responses here on both sides, but alleviating some of the pressure. Nothing built up on either side off of that, but it's mainly that kind of nature, right? When you have a fan, you got to go ahead and help secure that jungle, and that's why Onyx knows. Let's put pressure even on the green camps, the small camps if we can. Kind of slow that down a bit. And you can see there was a small lead now in terms of XP being built up by Kyrie.
And Kyrie slowly rotating, holding that fence brush. Will not force it, will not push his luck and try to steal away the purple. Kyle will get it, so this will allow them to at least go 50-50 on this turtle spawning lower quarter.
All right, Kelra in position 2. Fighting for that. Whoa, Kyrie gonna get forced off his green camp.
Oh! That wall was the bane of Falcon's existence. Tower shot coming through. Cyclone Eye to get the safety. Oh man, Kyle is not in any shape to take the turtle. Gets taken down by Lutfi off of an Ionic Edge. It's all Onyx. The Sky Kings are taking their second turtle as they apply more pressure on Falcon's jungle.
I thought it was going to be the perfect escape, man. The cables going through the walls, getting a little speed boost, but then Lutfi comes through with the flicker to take him out. So now Onyx looking to build up more. Confused.
Oh, Ogwin used that Wrath of the Dryad defensively to stop him from pushing forward. Are we back to square one? Is this the game 1 situation all over again? Onyx playing on Onyx time.
Yeah, feels like it. I don't know if they're going to be able to get this turret too, it looks like. Oh, hold on, they want to attempt.
Falling Star Moon, Flap, put down about 0. Just like that. Onyx are 2,000 gold up, given that was 4 members of Onyx underneath tier 1.
Yeah. It's not as devastating as game 1's turtle take that, where we had that one team fight and Onyx pretty much took everything.
6-0.
You know, 6-0, but Falcon's still okay. This lead is building up. They got to look for something to slow this down, though. That's the big problem. I mean, look at this. Keyboy's waiting position 2. Lutfi enough to zone out.
Oh my God, Haji had a couple of major members of Onyx behind him. And now Ogwin tries again. Comes in with a Wrath of the Dryad. Kyle does not have enough energy to start running roughshod in that small little avenue near the purple. This is tough because Onyx are now up 3,000, push tier 1 in mid and bot, so the map is shrinking.
The crazy thing about it is Onyx not really doing anything too fancy. It's just they're kind of putting pressure where they need to on the camps here of Kyle, but you know, because that's the thing. If you put enough pressure, you know that Falcons has to respond to allow Kyle to get this kind of farm, or even his purple buff, hell. And Onyx can just continue to press down on the wound here.
Uh-oh. Get a quick knockup, but answer with a Fatal Link. Super Marco couldn't make that Blazing Duet last more than 2 seconds. Ogwin underneath 3. They got 4 EG coming in, knocking up the big tree, chopping him down. Lutfi scores another, but they find a punish on Suns. Can Kyrie finish what he started? And Kyle falls. They might find a shutdown on a Kyrie here. Kyrie gets away.
Oh man, the mobility again with Hirara on the showcase here. Just when you think, you know, sliver of HP left, we're going to at least take something down. At least Kyrie, but he gets away. Let's look at the replay here. Brought to us by STC again. The Eternal Guard in this fight. Enough crowd control to keep Oakwin in place. Obviously, Kyle comes and gets a kill, but at the cost of his own life, too. So, you know, again, it's just Onyx playing to the advantage. And now we're going to see that continuing happen here on this side of the jungle. And they've already got this lead built up, 5,000.
Oh no, Onyx knows.
Oh no!
They force Kyle Eretri as he goes for his purple. They take him down, and they are gonna continue to march through. They steal away his buff, kill him, go for the turtle, and then pressure mid continuously.
Man, I don't know. Onyx lineup is just like having, they just got bouncers, man. They got the Uranus, they got the, you gotta count the Eternal Guard from the Vexana, and then you got Keyboy and the Atlas. Like, these are 3 tanky dudes just giving so much space to Onyx to work with.
Technically 4, because with perfect match, that's another body you have to worry about.
True.
Team Falcons are getting smothered here. It's literally just dude advantage.
Yeah.
There's literally more pieces that Onyx are bringing in, and 8 minutes in, almost 8,000 up. The math does not side with Falcons.
Yeah, I mean, you can see this. I mean, Loopy, of all people on this Uranus, just go ahead, face off against 3, 4 members of Falcons. Doesn't really matter. You know, he's not going to get shredded down at this point, unless somehow Falcons can catch up to this. But just like we saw in Game 1, being down, you know, 8,000 gold leading in to eventually this First Lord, you almost expect Onyx just to secure that and start approaching these base turrets as they now take down all Tier 2 turrets of Falcons.
And I would not doubt in this next wave, they're able to actually pop that holy shield. Oakwin falls once again. Kyle secures his Malefic Roar, so there should be some. Oh, Flap gets knocked out by Kelra underneath that inhibitor.
I don't know if there's any hope here, Leo. It looks grim. 2 of your tankier heroes being taken down in the lineup here against Onyx. Kyle's got no choice. Oh, Kyrie jumping in. Gets the beacon out, too. They might just take a base turret now.
All right, the siege minion will fall. They will have to wait. Kelra sitting at 3-1 and 2. Sure, look at Kyrie 404, but Kelra since minute 1 has been the forward assault. He's been basically the bouncer that can't wait to get some quick knock-up on a Lutfi, but it's enough time to buy that takedown on mid. This is the best position for Falcons to be in, but Flop gets taken down first and Oakwin too. Kyle was dealing with the wave down bottom, and now they have to clear the wave in mid, lest Onyx end it now.
No way. Okay, they should be able to clear this. They still have a wave, though.
There is still a wave, and Marco's here, waiting for stacks on AOT and Blazing Duet. Onyx are taking game number 2. Match point for the Sky Kings.
Back-to-back games of Onyx clipping the Falcons' wings. This was faster than the Game 1. I mean, I didn't think it would end there, but Falcons, it just seemed like they really couldn't do much. Again, that was the nature, that was the story of Game 1. And you took the gamble on bringing in, you know, this kind of lineup, this kind of jungle in the hands of Kyle. We've seen him do it before, but Onyx knows how to solve it.
More than just raw time and speed, Joseph. The velocity at which Onyx won this. Looking at their lineup again, 70% of it says we're going forward, that there's no re-engage on us. We literally are in your face and we win fights. And sure, this might have ended, what, under 11?
Yeah.
But it felt twice as quick as Game 1.
It did. And it was one of those cases, again, where off of maybe, what, I think it was a second turtle this time, where they just flipped the switch and it became Onyx time again, you know, and you would think they'd have a little bit more difficult time getting into the space with this kind of lineup, but they just had such a lead that they brute forced their way through it. And again, Falcons left kind of wondering what happened here through this one. So just a really tough game, back-to-back games here for Falcons, and for the Falcon fans out there, let's go ahead and throw it over to the studio to break down our Game 2.
Well, jubilation continues for Onyx as they go 2-0 up and are only 1 game away from $100,000. It has been less than an hour. It has actually been less than 25 minutes of game time to earn $100,000. in what many people couldn't even go get their Uber Eats or whatever delivered by then, that's a pretty good use of your time, right?
Yeah, we've yapped longer on this panel than we've seen actual gameplay in this series. It's Onyx time, man. It feels like this is like years of frustration from Onyx against Team Falcons and their members. Years of frustration from Indonesian players against Filipino players, just going out all with a bang here.
Yeah.
Because even in the draft, it was good. They had answers for both.
Yeah.
You can just put it together as Onyx are simply better today.
He said, I mean,
we basically walked back to the Talon room and then ran back here.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's about how
you're right. It was a walk back and it was like a light jog over this way because that's how fast it was. I mean, I got to say that the word coming out of my mouth right now feels a little bit of disappointment to start, but that is also the sign of what could be a great comeback story because I'm sure Filipino fans were watching that originally, and then Falcons started to turn it up against Yangon Galacticos. They brought it back 2 games. They got Super Marco on that Claude, which is yet to happen again and again, and they made their moments. So guys, I'm not going to continue with the dismay, maybe the doubt that's occurred here. I'm actually going to talk about what if we can see this Team Falcons PH team bounce back yet again, because that's what I know everyone at home is hoping to see.
Yeah, at the same time, all right, I might be the voice of the community here. I feel like a lot of people are thinking, do they really want to see that? After years of Filipino domination, and yes, this is a Filipino saying it.
You might be right.
I gotta be honest, there are probably a lot of members of the community right now watching this game and enjoying the hate watch.
You might be right.
Listen, you know me. Even I want to see this go to 5 series.
Really, Mr. Fear? I feel like you want to see this now.
No. Even I, for the love of esports, want to see this go 5 games. I don't ever want to see a 3-0 sweep like this. 2 20-minute games. I mean, 2 games in essentially under 20 minutes at this point. I want to see this at least go 4 games, and I think Falcons can definitely do it. I know that they've had a rough 2 games so far, but we saw them do it yesterday. It was tough yesterday going up against Yangon for them, and they were able to bring it all the way to Game 5. And I still think a lot of it has to do with possibly draft, maybe a bit of execution, but they got to pull it together. They got to play them.
The disappointment is in not showing up. It's not showing your identity. It's not claiming a way that you want to approach the game and kind of being on the back foot, saying we didn't even get a chance to be us. That's what the disappointment would be. And if we take this maybe one step further, this is the last statement before M8. We talked about it coming into here. How do you want to leave? What do you want to put on the table and say, yeah, we didn't get where we wanted, but boom, take that, we will be back. That's what I know Team Falcons wants to do. Let's not even talk Club Championship at this point, because they are 3 games in a row away from being able to do that, and that's a tall task against any of these semifinalists, let alone Onyx, who are playing this well.
Yeah, I wonder what else they have left in the tank. I feel like Yangon Galacticos brought them to their limit.
Yeah.
And Game 5 could have been anyone's game. I still clearly remember at the end of that draft, I did utter those words like, this is up to anyone. And we thought it was going to be Falcons. Then they committed those 2 errors. And I feel like those 2 big errors, diving into the base and then taking that one fight, I just can't remember exactly when, is still haunting Falcons.
Yeah.
Because a lot of their movements are very awkward and they look like they can't decide on what to do.
I know we're going to get a Telestrator in a second, but just looking at those notes, it's 22,000 damage for the Fanny, which they first picked, which they set up to be able to be first picked. And then you go on the other side, it's the Harara, who was not performing well in Game 1 when it was prioritized by Falcons. Now on the side of Onyx, it's got 37,000 damage. It's a 15,000 damage increase over the competition. And so that just shows that it might just be more than the draft guys. I do want to break this down, but there is something mentally going on. There's something execution-wise going on for sure.
Yeah, it really looks like Falcons are second-guessing themselves a lot in terms of what to do. And in those moments where they're finally decisive, they overlook that one thing that could turn their dive around, that can turn their attempt around.
Yeah. Well, let's jump into that Telestration. I know, Renmar, you prepared some clips. What do you have for Game 2?
All right, so it's not just me here, Trex. If you want to jump in at any point, especially discussing the clips or the draft, let me know. But we first look again, the priority of Falcon here is they want to make sure that they take the Fanny away from Kyrie. Good. All right. everything set up really well. And as expected, the Atlas is going to come in through for Onyx because, well, you want to be able to invade that Fanny. And you don't want that Atlas to go to the side of Falcons, because if you do, then no matter what you put in the jungle, in the end it was the Herrera, Fanny's going to be well protected, and diving against that is going to be fine. So one thing that you do up against a jungler that wants to have really good tempo and be the one to be aggressive is that you pack strong side lanes. Yes, so far in this tournament, Esmeralda versus Uranus has been somewhat maybe 65% leaning towards Esmeralda over the Uranus. But what Lutpi did in this series as this Uranus is fantastic, because he just kept cutting the waves. He didn't take that duel. He said, looking at the map of Falcons, what am I? Gonna be at the risk of getting taken out by a Belleric and Juicin? That's not gonna happen. The Fanny's not gonna be able to take me down right away. So Lutpi kept cutting waves to control that, so that Flap is always late in helping out the Fanny. Then you go into the other side of the map, and then you get the Paquito in the gold lane for Onyx, which again adds more to the idea of strong side lanes, faster tempo, so that from the sides and even through the center, because you have an Atlas, the map of the Fanny will feel ridiculously small. The pick here that I feel like won it for Onyx and lost it for Falcons, funnily enough, are the picks in the mid lane. You get the Vexana for Onyx, which in the one clip I will show you, crazy that Sans is actually able to get a great Terrify off onto Kyle, and then the Juicin on the other side. The Juicin for control, great, yes. But then, similar to their draft previously, they were putting a lot of the pressure onto the damage simply through the jungle. When your roam mid trio is very jungler damage coded, strong side lanes beat that. We saw it in game 1, and we saw it in game 2 again. Before we go to the clips, is there something you want to add to this, Trix?
No, I think you did everything perfectly.
Oh, hey man,
Me too.
I'm gonna start blushing here, guys. Thank you. So the two clips, I'm not gonna take too long with this, but this one was one of the toughest decisions for Falcons, because after Kiboy showed his perfect match, that's usually your go sign to just go ahead and keep fighting. But they have a timer in the arrival of the Paquito through the river. We go out. They get Kiboy down low, force out the flicker, the targeting. Kyle, he's hoping there's just enough in the tank to take down Kiboy, but he won't be able to. Because right now at this point, Marco has made the call for the rest of the team that, hey, the Paquito's on the way. And when the Paquito joins in, the Falcons made the right call here. But it was a tough call to back off. Despite the really good Falling Star Moon, despite them forcing out the ultimate of the Vexana, once Kelra shows up, you really need to back. Despite Kiboy being very low, you just need to go back here. There's enough crowd control, enough damage from the Herrera as well to mess them up. And they just got pushed back again, because the Uranus, yes, doesn't have crowd control, but constantly being in the fight, a long stretched out fight up against a lineup that, again, assassin burst damage coded. Uranus is very happy for that, and eventually Falcons just had to give up that turtle. They needed that turtle one and some kills to add on to that to get some momentum going, but they couldn't. So they make their next big play, their next big attempt. Flap and Kyle find the opening through the golem and want to go for it, while Ogwen and Haji are still clearing up mid. And look where Lutpi is coming from, as we said earlier, cutting lanes. He's a little bit behind this time, but it's gonna be fine, because they know that they can survive this, because Sans is gonna pull off something really freaking cool. Let me just zoom in right quick. Terrify. Mid-air, doesn't care. He made that look way too easy. That ruined the flow of the cabling for Kyle and the damage, forcing the Purify out from that Esmeralda easy. And Ogwen and Haji, who are taking their sweet time, clearing mid with a Belleric and the Juicin together. That's another reason why Onyx just felt so fast here. They cleared the mid lane much faster. Vexana, terrific at clearing up minion waves. Add a concussive blast on your Atlas for that, and then it leads to them just getting around the map faster, taking control, and Falcons not having any time whatsoever.
It was really a pace issue for Falcons. It was an identity issue. We talked about it, maybe a draft issue as well. But more so, it might have been an expose, not just on how Falcons didn't get it done, but how good Onyx really are, and how yesterday's match versus Team Spirit exposed how great Blink has been playing. Because finally, Kid Boy getting that moment to shine. You can see when he's on the right roamers, when he's on the right characters, he can make a world of difference. And last series, it was really Blink who went so deep into the roam pool. Kid Boy didn't have as many options. Now he's on an Atlas. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do what I need to do. That was a great showcase. So again, yes, we're looking Onyx, we're looking Falcons, but also the grand finalists took both these teams down. Maybe there's a nod to how good they have been playing that have not allowed us to see some of the strengths that these two teams have brought into it. Speaking of two teams, speaking of playing together, we have a new update from Acecraft and a new mode in co-op, and we fly together to check out. On the other side of that, we'll be in the draft for Game 3.
A lot of people are haunted by their past. I'm inspired by it.
They're not just playing for themselves, they're really playing for their entire family.
They have defeated their demons! They have crushed the curse!
He thinks he can come in here and play my game. Let's go. He knows nothing. Let's go!
Tyler Wine, you're done.
This ain't no regular thing. Came for the ring, you know what I mean. You see my name in the lights. Better get right, I'm champion.
We were there. For every click, every clutch, every respawn. We were there for the years of grind. And we're here. Now. The proud founding partner of EWC. Powering the biggest event in gaming. Shoulder to shoulder with the world's best. Making history. Greatness deserves a stage. Lenovo Legion. Reach your impossible.
Well, if you're here in the crowd, you're having a fun time. Our Snapchat filters catching members of the audience. And speaking of the audience, it's packed now. It's going to be even bigger when we get to our grand final matchup, which is set for 2 p.m. CEST. So in Paris time, in about, let's see, an hour and 40 minutes from now, we'll be heading towards that grand final and seeing who will be our new champion in the new era, Yangon Galacticos or Team Spirit. But for now, it's Onyx and Team Falcons PH who are going toe-to-toe. It is the final game potentially for Onyx Trex, but that also means that the Philippines run here at MSC could come to an end with Team Falcons going down one more time.
So much on the line here for Team Falcons. If there was any team that I thought could come back from match point right here, would definitely be them, but there are a lot of things they have to answer. We focused on draft, we focused on in-game mistakes, and the whole plan just needs to be shifted at this point. For me, coming to this draft, I do really think Falcons needs to get back to the basics. So many target bans, so many things that just seem like they're trying too hard to big brain the situation. Just go back to banning Fanny, banning Phoveus, banning whatever else plus that, and keep the draft simple.
I think they're also coming into this with the same mindset as maybe what helped them realize how they came back against Yangon Galacticos. They put a Juicin in the center of the map to help control the tempo. I understand that Yangon and Onyx are both teams that want to play aggressive and play fast, but Onyx are not Yangon and Yangon are not Onyx. So I think one way to start with is you deprioritize that Juicin, get something else for Haji, and get it in the second phase.
Falcons have brought things back to some simplicity. The Atlas and the Fanny ban on blue side. Final ban coming in. You could still take out the Barats if you want. You could maybe even take out the Uranus here if you wanted. Keep it simple, and that forces the side of Onyx to take out the Marcel most likely, which I think is clean play right here. They go for the Valentina, which again forces Onyx to most likely ban out the Marcel here.
Yeah, and then when they ban out the Marcel, most likely either a Belleric rush or they go for one of the Assassins open. And then on the other side, Onyx will get the Belleric. If they still let go of the Belleric, then Falcons should not bite into that bait and then just pick away a Keyboy signature hero like a Cho. I think I'd rather Falcons give the Belleric to Onyx because Keyboy doesn't look like he's not that comfortable with it because it's not a Keyboy hero. It doesn't feel like Keyboy.
Right. Yeah, the Fanny has been pretty standard. The Atlas as well. But the focus on Rome early, I think, has been more beneficial to Keyboy and to Onyx than it has been to Falcons. And I do believe that maybe second phase is what's important. There's been a lot of EXP bans. We've seen the Uranus ban twice and then picked up. That's been high priority for this matchup. It hasn't really worked out well in the hands of Falcons. But Flap now trying to pick up something that could shift the tide. The Barats finally open, has been banned 2 games in a row, and now could be something that they go for.
Got to go for Marcel here. Yeah. Marcel gets picked up, which is huge for Falcons. Unless, I mean, if Onyx has an answer to this right now, then I guess Onyx just, they were destined to win this series at this point. They take up the Harara. You go for Belleric here. I feel like Belleric is okay against the Marcel. You want someone that's going to come in. Yeah, another possible answer down the line.
Yeah. Again, though, but my only problem with the Belleric is it's Belleric for Keyboy. It just, to me, has just never felt so comfortable in terms of an idea. So they go ahead and prioritize the Barats. Tough thing about this now is if you decide to pick up the Harley, you have another big stompy boy coming in through the EXP that could mess you up and mess up your engages because essentially it becomes a 1-for-1 trade. They're going to get the deadly magic off onto someone and will deal damage. Barrett's is going to choose someone up and then it's going to be a -1. I think Juicin should not show up for any of these drafts, and both of the mid laners need to go for burst, high crowd control. Get Vexana back, get Lo Yi back, Farsa, anyone who fills in that idea.
I think if they can go for a solid front line on the side of Falcon, the Harley can still be viable. And honestly, kind of feels like it's the only option right now. Or the Guinevere. Guinevere, another decent option, honestly. They also fall into Marco, give themselves some comfort. And I think, in my mind, this is the only way this draft should have really gone for Falcons. Don't big brain it too hard. They get the Marcel. They get so much power in these first few picks. Play what you know you can do and what you know will work.
He gets the Claude for the first time as well, Super Marco. And I am a little bit worried. The only reason I'm worried on the side of Falcons continuing this on is because wouldn't you just think Onyx no? I mean, they're giving the Marcel, so they must have an answer in mind. Maybe it doesn't work in practice, but they know what they're doing.
One thing that Onyx needs to ban out, I feel like, would be an R-Lot for Flap. You see the Matilda, there's a chance for Matilda Barretts together. With all that dive and aggro, some strong crowd control. Again, I think Falcons this time can lean towards a little bit the idea of tempo control as long as it's not around a Juicin in the mid. You already have a Guinevere, get burst on your mid, get a high sustain, high mechanic EXP laner in the R-Lot that can be disruptive, and that would be great for Falcons.
I gotta say, this Matilda is one of the possible answers to that Marcel right there. The thing about the Golden Hour is it's a pretty long animation, right? You have a few seconds, and this Matilda could buy the time. It's also not a roamer that wants to just be in your face. It's not super stable. You get movement, and to pair that all up, you can actually keep up with the Marcel in terms of rotation and moving around the map. So possibly one of the things that Onyx was thinking about when they let this Marcel over.
Lapu Lapu and Zushin on the bans so far. We've seen EXP bans focus now shifting a little bit towards the mid lane on the side of Falcons, which is maybe going to open things up for Haji. He's had a tough matchup against Sans. These two have kind of gone back and forth. They were highlighted earlier on before the set. Maybe just taking away a couple things. And right there, as you guys had mentioned, the Arlet banned out against Falcons.
Yeah, very good ban there by Onyx. And let's not turn off the possibility that this Matilda might surprise and go into the mid lane, and then you have a different roamer.
Definitely a possibility. Definitely a possibility. I think so many things are open. Falcons for EXP lane. Do we think Esmeralda's a possibility here with the... since they're going up against the Matilda, you have shields. Maybe not the greatest matchup against the Barats, but it's a little bit faster in terms of rotation.
Actually, their bans on the Arlot and the Lapu Lapu might already be a tell that this Barats is going into EXP. Because those two heroes would be somewhat be dealt with all right. Not answered by, but it's a moot point if you get an Esmeralda with you. So I think that Barats is already going to the EXP.
I mean, Esmeralda on Falcons.
Oh.
Be a decent pickup for them.
Yeah.
Is it enough to mix things up? Eudora feels like a forgotten thought, but should be top of mind with how well she has performed throughout this MSC. Picked up late after the bans from the mid lane have come through. Selena, Valentina, and Zushin. And now we see the Harith band.
I mean, it is already, excuse me, it's not a jungle Barrett, it's an EXP Barrett because you already have the Herrera. They ban out the Uranus. I don't know, man. Go. What else can they put? They took. Onyx really took out the two best ones. I think Phoveus is not going to have a good time with this lineup either. You don't put that Guinevere in the jungle, you just stick it into the EXP. They do need range or constant damage. They could go Kimmy in mid with the Marcel as a combo. Get a lot of pokes in, but no, they go for the Farsa. I was asking for burst and they got it. Oh, and a Sora! Sometimes I forget he exists.
Ban game one.
And I mean, this is a pick that can capitalize on this close. You have the Eudora, who's very close range, not a lot of range. A lot of Onyx is going to want to stick together a bit. Everyone's going to kind of want to huddle around this this Matilda, especially with the Barats, someone that wants to peel for this Eudora, kind of protect. Obviously, Herrera's going to be doing her own thing, but the Sora, one big shifting skies, and it could be detrimental to a way that Falcons wins here. You pair that up with a Feathered Airstrike, Violent Requiem, a lot of combo play on the side of Falcons.
And I think Onyx were considering something maybe like an Iksha as a surprise idea, but nope, they're still going to lean in towards the damage. They can still play fast. This lineup that they drafted is still very Onyx coded. If Falcons mess up the execution, then it was definitely Onyx Day and Onyx Series to win.
Paquito in the gold lane for Kelra one more time. And we'll see if this can be the time that earns them third place. Kelra had a chance against Onyx prior. And this time it was an Onyx matchup. Can he do it against the Philippines, this time representing Indonesia? As Team Falcons and Onyx go up for game 3, is it going to be a sweep in our third place match? Guys, that would be crazy, but I know some fans that would enjoy it. Let's send it over to Naisu and Leo.
Hey, I'm hoping it's not a sweep here. We got to get one on the board for Falcons. They need it, and their fans need it. I think they brought the draft here, though, Leo, to make that happen. I like what they brought to the table just because, again, there's some burst, there's some crowd control, and even the Marcel. I think this all pairs up really well against what Onyx brought to Game 3.
Not just that, the fact that they've basically over 3 games changed their identity. They let go of the glue, they let go of the Esmeralda. They're no longer living in the we will fight and die by this kind of rotation. There's a lot of re-engage here, especially to answer Onyx's own re-engage, especially with that Matilda in the hands of Keyboy. Early start here, a little bit of footsies between the mid duos from both sides, and then we eventually just return back the roamers protecting their junglers from getting their early buffs.
Taking a look at the emblems here, too. It's a little scary, as you mentioned, Keyboy, on this Matilda. Not only the mobility, but that focusing mark, the emblem there to go ahead and help. I mean, we already know the Eudora for Sans, like the burst potential there. Just yesterday, we saw Sunset Lover play it pretty much 5 games in a row. And, you pair it up with this, even the emblem interaction, there's a good amount of burst that comes through to almost solidify yourself a kill. So then you get the numbers advantage, and you can work around that. Plus mobility. And I think that's what makes the Barretts even scarier here for Lutpi, just because, again, you know, you already cover a lot of grounds with the flicker, but then now you have a Matilda. Like, that's great. But over on the flip side, with Falcons, I kind of forget about Sora too. You know, I have to be on the same wavelength here with Renmar. You kind of forget about him. But just as we saw in the hands of Kid Bomba yesterday, you're reminded why he can be so deadly, especially when teams are kind of clumped up together.
And Onyx knows best exactly what a good Sora can do. Kyle backing off. They see that there's 3 members of Onyx pushing forth. Down bottom, though, who'd have thought that by bringing a pair of boxing gloves to a gunfight, you could get away with a lot. Kelra's bullying Marco. I doubt that Marco can even double wave as soon as this turtle dance or fight fully breaks out.
Yeah, right now, Onyx got control of it. We'll see if Falcons is in a position to fight. Kyle's going to be spotted out here, though, by Keyboy. Can they go in?
That's a Shifting Skies started up by Flap, but to no avail as Onyx secures the turtle. Down goes Flap. That feather airstrike may be a league too far out of the fight as Onyx barrels forward 1,000 gold up.
Good enough burst, it seemed like, to be the case, but what happened there with Onyx was just able to go ahead and zone out Falcons from the fight. And part of that was just Lutpi. I mean, on the Barretts alone, he just kind of separated the rest of Falcons from that, and they were able to go ahead and capitalize a kill on Flap when he tried to initiate things. And you know, honestly, that kind of choreography for these objective fights is kind of what I expect, unless somehow Falcons can figure out a different way to go through that. But that's what makes it really difficult. Again, you know, playing around the potential to surprise them with having this Guinevere, with having Ogwyn on the Marcel. Now, the Golden Hour could help make that happen. You know, it could slow down or kind of make things weird, the rhythm weird for Onyx team fighting, but that first one was not it for Falcons.
To be fair, Ogwyn wasn't ready quite yet. And that means 3 out of the 4 possible ults that were laid down to help disrupt Onyx form wasn't ready. Yeah. Or they were lacking one major resource. So going into turtle number 2, spawning in the lower quarter, out in about 30 seconds and change should be a different story. But again, that is looking at Onyx. They still have all of their resources. That as well into the wall, plus the feather airstrike, but it's Kyle who falls! And Lutpi walks away with it. Flap goes down too by Kyrie's blade. Onyx showing no quarter, as even Haji might fall, does not have the wings by wings! Kyrie, bloodthirsty, finds another.
Even before that Kyrie play, give it up to Lutpi, man, to be able to go ahead and respond that fast. Again, he saw that Kyle came through. Daytona's welcome, flicker defensively to get him closer to the team fight as we look at the replay. This is what I was talking about. Boom, right there, sets things up. San's also coming through to make sure that he got that stun off in time to make sure Lutpi survived. And then, of course, Kyrie cleaning things up under a tier 2 this early on. Man, it's not looking good in game 3.
Turtle number 2 is looking like a non-starter once more. Lutpi, Detna's welcome. Good amount of nothing he's chomped down, but that's just but a consolation prize for Falcons. They are in no shape to contest.
Biggest lead we've seen so far throughout these 3 games. Onyx going to go ahead and stall down a little bit so that Kyrie can go ahead and grab his buff. Again, already sitting at 3-0. You know, this is the power spike already for Harara. It's going to be really difficult to play against, and that's why even your frontliners for Falcons are having such a hard time here, because even if they put themselves in this, I mean, look at that. You either get stunned, you get chomped. Oh, they are going to slow this down a little bit, but, I mean, you buy an extra second or 2 with the Golden Hour, and Turtle secured for Onyx.
They're delaying the inevitable. Onyx knows that they were going to get the turtle anyways, but I don't know if they saw that Marco was going to work the opposite lane. So that's at least a turret on the board for Falcons. They'll help keep this lead down to a palpable 3K, but Kelra will make quick work of that turret on the other side as well. So I'd say it's still just the free turtle that Onyx are riding on that puts him up at about 4,000 gold. They find one! Ooh. And Kaku saving himself. Keyboy with a circling eagle. Onyx refused to give anything over to Team Falcons.
Falcons was so close to at least getting one on the board, and then Keyboy is able to survive, man. That Purify, even if they popped it, he still had the shields to go ahead and keep him alive. Really good usage there. Now they're knocking on this tier 1. Oh, Kelra.
Better airstrike. Kelra coming in from the flank. Stop. Flickered in. Hadouken. Might take a Haji, but Haji does get the fly off even with the flicker from Lutpi, and the punish from Falcons is real. Ogwyn punches him down. Golden Hour will not save him from Sans, though, as it turns into a 1-for-1.
All right, the 1-for-1 trade, at least Falcons is on the board, but man, again, you're seeing it. Onyx playing around the lead that they have, and you know, one of the difficult things here as you see these fights break out is just how kind of, oh, hold on, Flap, whoa, burns a flicker. Okay, Sans is gonna be okay. So at least a battle spell expended. But again, it's weaving into these fights. The thing that Onyx lineup does so well, especially with Kelra or Kairi, is how much they can maneuver around these team fights or around these.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Was that a circling eagle leading up the Ludwig underneath tier 1, getting hit with a Requiem, and they get another. T-Boy falls, the punish from Falcons, getting 2 kills on Marco.
Yeah, did they just guiding wind their death? I mean, Onyx tried to make it seemed like he wanted to make a play, and then they got punched in the face.
Yes, the only reason why it seems so unbelievable is it happened as we were swinging the camera over, and then it happened. So turtle number 3 might actually be Falcons' way to redemption. And it looks like Onyx are not going to contest, so they accept the folly of their fumble. Falcons on the board when it comes to neutrals.
Yeah, that's when you say, you know, that's my bad, that's my bad, right? But
MB, go again.
MB, go again. Falcons able to get the last turtle. They still have some ground to cover, though. They're down a bit, a few thousand gold up to this point, but they are starting to farm up, and a big part of that is going over to Super Marco.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
All right, wings by wings out. Marco, can we take a look at the items to see where Super Marco is? Again, okay, so he's got his 2 items. He's working on his 3rd. That golden staff is what he needs to get that Trinity locked in for this Claude. So he's done a really good job, despite how things have kind of fallen apart for the early game for Falcons. You know, your gold laner for Falcons is really what you're leaning towards. Obviously, Haji, too, only having the glowing 1. You can already see when he drops down a Feathered Airstrike, it's got some damage. So Falcons is waiting.
A little bit of a sting there. And he's down a full 1,000 gold up from Sans, so Falcons have to play this very precariously. A minute until Lord spawns lower quarter. Fortunately, the long lane is in control of Falcons, so that's what Marco's been working on. Shifting skies, but he gets answered by that as well. The Feathered Airstrike 2, golden hour, compromising the rest of them. Requiem on a Suns, and Falcons get a kill. Now into the back line, circling eagle, knocking up Kyle. Kyle's not long for this world as Kairi scores. Killra knocks out Haji. The blazing the wet fade away by Marco, pushing them back, but they're not done. Ogwin runs through, recalls back, fight's over.
Okay, fight's over. Onyx gets the upper hand in that one. Sans, unfortunately, had to deal with the spatial migration coming through from Kyle. Oh, Kelra with a couple punches. Checking Ogwin here. They're going to take down the tier 1 in mid. So Onyx reestablishing that lead that they had earlier on. You know, but Falcons, they're showing some fight here. They're showing some promise. They've just got to find the upper hand. Again, this Daytona's welcome, locking down Flap. Look at Kyle, he finds Sans. That's great, but then this fight kind of gets split up, you know, and they don't really have the room to work with here. Flap has to disengage from it. The blazing duet from Super Marco didn't get as much value as you'd hope for if you're Falcons. So it was just, again, having that upper hand in terms of itemization for Onyx, and now this Lord is up. So they've got control of it. Falcons here. Do they contest? Ogwin jumping forward to give some information. They will reset the Lord, though.
Flap holding this brush behind the Lord pit. He's gonna get flushed out by Ludwig. Missile expert to throw him out there. And look at Kelra. Kelra is just doing God's work right now. The fact that he's threatening that long lane, all this while Onyx is also just threatening the dance, makes it so weird for Falcons. Like, what do they commit to? Sure, they have a BMI. Sure, they have the wings by wings, but those are massive resources they're gonna need if they want to fight against Onyx, who's up by about 4,500 gold. Whoop.
Oh, hold on.
Detna's welcome, throwing it over. Golden hour to delay the damage coming on a Flap, and he goes for the shifting skies. Jumps through, and now in comes Kyle. Marco looking for the perfect blazing duet entry. And there's some wings by wings. The damage on Kyle is real despite the Requiem. Feathered Airstrike at point blank range. Kairi finds the double, make it a triple. Marco with a defensive blazing duet, but he's the only survivor left, and Onyx wanna clean up house. Kairi in the base. Can Marco do it? No! Kairi finds him! The Savage in the groups gets another, and I think we're close to calling it.
Oh, man. Ignore the Lord. They've got waves pushing in here. They'll take what they want. It's Hunger Games right now. Look at the replay here by SDC again. This was a fight that was not in favor of Falcons from start to finish. And the team fighting here by Onyx, again, just able to kind of dissect the fight.
Lutfi denied the Savage. I counted 5, but that's why it didn't come up, because the 4th went to Lutfi and then Marco got cleaned up.
Well, you know, you can still take the Maniac, right? I mean,
and then the Savage from earlier in the tournament. But regardless, Falcons find themselves in an so familiar spot in this series. Onyx knocking down on their bases, waves coming in from all directions. Down being almost double digits. Again, this is an 8,000 gold lead. Eminent.
Yeah, and they got a Lord come up to that top side. Big item pickups here for Onyx too at this point. 12 minutes in. BOD for Kyrie. Divine Glaive for Sans. You know, again, it's just you've got these items locked in that you needed, and you're ready to go ahead and knock down some of these base turrets. So, Daytona's welcome.
And it's canceled by a golden hour. In comes the rest of them. Down goes Flap. Ogun barely gets away. Pops that Purify to buy time after the top lane inhibitor crashes. So Falcons are just staunching the bleeding here. Feather Dash Strike coming in from Haji, blasting away those waves. And they will save mid lane inhibitor. Top lane still in jeopardy. Bottom up next on the docket to defend. Onyx looking to control the amount of bodies that they put underneath
Kyrie's
that.
hitting the base.
And Kyrie's just looking to burst it down. Ogun looking for the punish. And Kyrie survives.
Okay, I guess Kyrie's like, you know what, if you guys are going to deal with the defense, I might as well just go ahead and hit the crystal a little bit here. So he does some damage to it, but they maintain 2 base turrets. It looks like Onyx wants to go again, though, because Lutfi's got a flicker and a Daytona's welcome set up. He doesn't have many stacks. He's going to throw out the rockets here. Oh.
Eats up Ogun. Answer with a feathered airstrike. That is a shifting skies lightning form by Flap. Lutfi put down 1/8 of his health. Keldra trying to do the same Kyrie was doing with the base, except on that lower inhibitor, does not find it. Falcons still keeping their eyes on the prize. At least we can say that the Philippines' last representative is just on point, keeping it on lockdown when it comes to the defense.
They hold it on, man. They have to. Again, even staring down this lead, this deficit that Falcons is against, almost 10,000. You know, they've only got a couple turrets that are down on the map to work with. They're nearly down to the last base turrets here. 2 stand for Falcons, and honestly, all these team fights have just been Onyx throughout. There's been a moment where you might be able to catch 1 or 2, but Falcons just doesn't have it just doesn't seem like they have the ability to win these team fights just yet, unless something goes really wrong here for Onyx. There's so much vision provided that Onyx can just kind of take into this, because you know, you have control across the jungle. Your Lord's coming up here in 15. I would be surprised if Falcons tries to contest it.
Realistically speaking, the best thing that Falcons can hope for is a pickoff off of Onyx, but wait, they do force Ogun here to back off. I think he held on to his Purify, so he is fine. I think Onyx are also looking for Falcons to slip up. They're looking for them to, you know, waste an ult here, waste a battle spell here, to confirm this Lord and to confirm the end. Detna's welcome answered by a Requiem here. Wings by wings back. So a couple of ults spent already, as well as the feathered airstrike.
Those are big ults that are expended by Falcons. I don't think you want to be anywhere near this Lord.
Whoa, big knock-up on Lutfi once again. He answers with Detna's welcome. Golden hour, trying to save that one target. And there's a shifting skies pushing back and splitting up Onyx attack. And they find Keldra, forced to back off. And now it's Lutfi up next. How has Falcons done this? He goes for the freeze, winner crowd, feathered airstrike, and a big knock-up by Kyle. Keldra falls. Get up for Flap. Sans goes down as well. 2 for 1, make it 3. Yeah, Marco chasing Kyrie. And the wind of nature saves bulletproof Marco now inside the base. Kyrie wants to end it. He sees the base exposed to a couple minions.
Oh, he picks up my mortality.
And now we go back to neutral. Ogun looking to stop Kyrie from taking any more from Falcons. The ending tally 3 for 1, but the Lord is still inside Falcons base.
Okay, that was a fight. The Falcons ends up getting under their belt. They got to deal with this Lord. It's going to be cleared out. Good thing for Haji and Super Marco to be up there. Again, they're slowly but surely getting into a fighting position, but man, did that take some work. And also, some mistakes made by Onyx into that one. I mean, I guess they just, the golden hour threw them off. even though the Feathered Airstrike came back off cooldown, that really helped Falcons. They got caught by Kyle's Spatial Migration, Requiem combo. So that'll keep Onic in check.
Joseph, for the first time in about maybe 10 minutes, Kyle was able to taste the purple, and it was one he stole away from Kyrie. What's the most impressive out of this is the fact that no purifiers were spent by Falcons. So that means they were in the right spot at the right time for their positioning to matter and for them to split Onic up like that. If this happens once more, if this is replicated some way, somehow by Falcons in this Lord pit spawning in the upper quarter about a minute and change from now, then say goodbye to this lead. I think that puts us at deadlock.
Yeah, it might just do that, and that's why now Onic, they need to be a little more cautious on how they approach these fights. Obviously, you can see Super Marco online now on the Claude. You know, the ability to hold on to these Purifies are crucial for Falcons to flip this game over. They've done an amazing job holding on to the two base turrets, too, that they had to. Again, even seeing two Lords being secured by Onic. They only lost that one base turret they maintain here. Now, they still have some time to go ahead and do something before this next Lord comes up, but that's why Onic is just kind of playing the patient game.
Yep. Onic are on Overwatch right now. You make the wrong move, get in range in the wrong spot, and it's over. It's a pickoff, and then next thing you know, Falcons can't even contest, can't even leave their base. So they're sending bodies here to try and confirm a slow push on this tier 1 down bottom. Onic knows this. Onic knows this. It's just they don't want to risk it yet because it's so close. Oh, what is this? Ogwin. All right, he holds on with Purify.
He did get the Thundering Wrath out here, so ultimate use, but again, that's short cooldown up to this point too. Suns will have that back up before they maybe commit to this Lord. A Guardian Helm picked up too by Kyrie again. You know, he hasn't died. He's very elusive. 10-0-2. Picked up the Immortality earlier on the runaway, but now this Lord is up. Again, forget the gold lead that Onic has. Falcons can fight this through. Kyle's going to jump forward, just checking out that bush. He sees Kyrie. Oh, so now it's fighting for the space around this Lord here.
Here we go. Some warning shots out of Marco on a Lutpi. Lutpi chunked down about a quarter of his health. Sets up.
Oh, Loopy.
Finds one. Answered by both. A Feathered Airstrike gets them both, but Kyle falls first. Golden Hour. In comes the rest of them. Shifting skies, but look at this from the side. Kelra and Marco dueling guns versus fists. And they are so close to taking down Flap. In comes Kyrie. Flap with the dash and back gets taken down. Two out of the picture. For Falcons, Onic can smell blood in the water.
They want to take down the base turrets now. Super Marco had to pop his win in nature with the pressure from Kelra onto that fight. So now backs against the wall. They want to stay in this game.
Feathered Airstrike. Finally, mid lane inhibitor falls. Circling Eagle by Keyboy. Minutes away. Seconds, possibly from the end. And there's way too many minions. Onic have delivered sweet revenge. This one's for M5.